today. Obviously, look like these topics look interesting, type interesting in the chat box. This is different. This is some things that I think I can learn, right? Type interesting in the chat box so I know you're in for a game. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Now, since this is an open room, all of y'all are connected from different parts of India as well. I know the people in come in. I've seen the registration list, so I know people from Pan India have come in. So I'm going to lay down some ground rules in order for you to take as much as value out of this workshop. How many of y'all have entered this workshop from a Paisa Vasool manner? You paid 49 rupees for this 4 hours. I want you to take 10x, 20x from this out. If you can get to close deals from learnings from this workshop, my work is done. For that, I'm laying down some ground rules. And the ground rules goes like this. Number 1, take notes. Grab your notebook and pen. If you still aren't with your pen and paper, guys who are already with your pen and paper, type PP in the chat box. So I know you're ready. But if you're not, by the end I finish ground rules, I want you to be with your pen and paper, right? It's super important that you sit with a notebook and a pen instead of just thinking that I will remember everything. You're not going to remember everything. I want you to note it down, right? Note down things because I have activities. So you will reflect a lot in these 4 hours, right? Number 2, finish what you start. In fact, I am a sucker for being a finisher. If you start something, you need to finish that. And the same goes for this workshop. This is not a webinar. So this is a proper 4-hour workshop. Now I understand because it is 4 hours, I'm split it into 2 parts. The first 2 hours and the second 2 hours, we'll have a 10-minute break in between around 11:10, right? Hope it's okay. I'm not able to I can't tell you the exact time because it depends on the flow. But around 11:15, we'll definitely go for a break. All of you are game for that, type game in the chat box, right? There'll be a 10-minute break after 2 hours of work. Yeah, perfect. If you're finishing with me, if you're sticking till 1 p.m. with me, I love to give gifts. I love to give more to you all, even more than just this 4 hours, right? Number 1, you're going to get a heart guide that is priced at 9,999. This comes to you if you stick to 1 p.m. with me without that cost. Now, we're going to go deep into heart framework. I believe this is something that will change the way you see sales forever. But I also want you to have a version with you, a physical version with you, where you can take and do the work. You can apply. The heart guide comes over there. You're going to get the objection clarity guide. Now, how many of you all feel objections is a difficult part in sales? Type me in the chat box. I do well, I get leads, I close I take the meetings and all of that. But when it comes to closing deals, it's the objections that is stopping me. If that is you, type me in the chat box. This is a very safe place. The chat box is how you communicate with me. So the more you communicate with me, the more I can be of use to you. Yeah. The objection clarity guide is something that I have put together based on all the objections that I've ever seen with the people that I've worked with the people with the sales meetings that I have taken. I made up this guide so that you have something to take action. We're going to go deep dive into objections today as well, but this is also something that I want you to have in order for you to take action after these 4 hours as well. And number 3, a sales flow guide. We're going to go look deep into your sales flow today. But again, I want you to have something to hold on to. If you're a pen and paper person like me, print it out. And these are all in a fill in the blanks version. It's going to be of great help to you to apply the concepts that you learn from it, because that's when you come full circle. You apply and then you can come and tell me back on social media that, hey, I applied this specific thing and it works wonders. I've had people doing that as well, right? Number 3, the Q&A, I will keep it after the training. Now, I have a dedicated time for Q&A. The reason I've kept it after training is because all of us over here are in a very learning mindset. Now, I know I've designed this workshop so that your questions get self-answered as well, right? When I sat through it with a lot of variety. I know there'll be a lot of variety in this room. You guys will be doing different forms of businesses. You are coming from different walks of life as well, right? So I prefer to keep the Q&A after the training. because your question might not be another person's question. So I want to make sure that I address all questions, but I'll do that in the dedicated time. How many of y'all are good with this rule? Type Q&A in the chat box. You agree, you commit to the Q&A after the training, right? All of your questions are designed to get answered throughout the course of this 4 hours itself, right? If you have any questions left, then we'll have it in the training, right? Number 4, now I want to reiterate who this training is for, who these 4 hours are super, super important for. Number 1, if you're a business owner, how many of y'all are business owners? Type B in the chat box. If you're a business owner, then this training, this 4 hours that you're taking, will give you a different outlook of how you see business. Regardless if you do sales or your team does sales, this is going to be useful concepts that you can take and apply in your business, right? And if you're a coach, how many of y'all are coaches? Type C in the chat box if you're a coach. Any kind of coach, any niche, doesn't matter. If you're a coach who sells services, you're the product of the product, this 4 hours is for you as well. Or if you're a professional, you're in a senior level job, you're in a managerial level job, where sales is your shoulder, where you are also a big part of revenue coming into the company, right? Or if you're a CXO, then this program, this training is also for you. All the professionals in the room, type P in the chat box. P for peacock, P for professionals, right? Number 5, give your 100%. Lock yourself in a room, be present both physically and mentally. I've locked myself in the room. This is actually my home office. So I've locked myself in order for giving you all that 4 hours. I want you to lock yourself in a room so that you can invest this 4 hours for a proper learning. How can you be physically and mentally present? Pen and paper will help you to be physically and mentally present. Make sure by now you should be sitting with your pen and paper. Type PP if you are ready with your pen and paper. There are a lot of concepts that you will learn, a lot of concepts that are going to be new for you, or they aren't new, but you're going to see a different version of it. So I want you to be ready and make notes so that you can revisit and make use of them, right? And number 6, keep your energy high. The way you can engage with me is the chat box. And there's a code word. Let's have a code word for this room now. Heart. HEART. Any moment it's a new learning. Any moment you feel that this is a game changer. Any moment you got a different version of thinking. A wow moment. Basically, you use HEART. Type it in the chat box so I know you commit to keeping the chat box, this room, as engaged as possible. Heart. HEART. I know the emoji can be a little difficult to find in the chat box, so you can just type heart, HEART. Yeah, perfect, perfect. How many of you believe I'm giving my 100% now? Type 100% in the chat box. Believe I'm giving my 100%? Yeah, yeah. It's 9 a.m. I want you all to give your 100% as well. Do you promise to stick with 1 p.m. and take enough learning to take home and apply in your work, in your business? Type commit in the chat box so I know you're committing to keeping your energy high, to give enough time for learning in this 4 hours, right? Type commit in the chat box. I don't take your commitments lightly, guys. I take it something is very serious, right? Throughout this 4 hours, you can have that one idea that changes your outlook, and my work over there is done. That is all that I look for, right? If all of you all, we're 22 people in the room, if 22 people have actual learning, I'm good with it. If you have even one learning point out of this 4 hours, I'm all good. My work there is done. I believe the full circle will happen, right? Perfect. Now, quickly, I'd love to understand the room. What profession are you in and which city are you from? For example, fitness coach Chennai. Type it like that so I understand you all. I understand the whole room a little bit better. Type your profession and city in the chat box. Business consultant, Kerala, Hyderabad, real estate. Got it. Hyderabad, I've designed a workshop for people committing to marriage. So it's like a relationship coach. Divya, are you a relationship coach? DCM clinic. Okay, Hyderabad, got it. In Chennai right now. I'm born and brought up in Chennai. I've been in sales my entire life, not just by my work, not just by the profession, but by environment also. I come from a family business background, so I've seen businesses running from quite a young age. I've seen the ups and downs of what a business can do. I've seen what goes into the business owner's mindset. And from there to cut to building my own company, there was multiple bits, use cases that I got to learn, but there were so many things that I had to learn for the very first time. There was nobody who could hold my hand and correct me for the first 2 3 years of my business journey. If I felt that if I had a mentor at that time, it would have been wonderful. That is what I thought. And that was the stepping stone for this Selling with Heart workshop as well. Number two, I worked with around 500 plus high net worth and ultra high net worth business owners. How? Through our company, SGI Collective. We are a collective company. We hold multiple services under it. It's like a parent company that holds a consulting company, an agency under it. We have multiple projects that has been running around from different angles as well under the same company. So we roll out an idea, it works in the market, we make it, we register it into a proper company and build systems around it. Number three, I've closed around 6 crores of sales just in the last 3 years. This number has been updated since we just closed the finance, but independently is a word that I wanted to highlight. But though we are three partners under SGI Collective, all of us have different roles, and my major role was bringing revenue to the table. Now, in that, this number, if you would have spoken to me 6 years back, Ekta, you would be making this number, you would be closing deals, I would have laughed, right? Because I know that that was not me. It took me a lot of time to learn what does it mean to be of service? What does it mean to give your product, give your service, and also be happy about it and make money from it, right? The whole idea of sales evolved over the last 6 years, and I wanted this workshop to cut short that evolution before us, right? And number four, I've trained around 5,000 plus people in sales and mindset. So you're not the first ones sitting in this room getting trained. I've trained multiple people. I could collect a couple of photos over the years. This is in Annamalai University, way back. I think this is like 4 5 years back. This is in Bangalore, a group of startup founders, entrepreneurs. This is in a group of entrepreneurs in Chennai in a networking event. This is actually to startup founders and first time founders. This is in a startup event where they raise funding and investing for the startups. There are around 300 people on the stage. I could get one photo only on the stage. And this is in our own event. I'll tell you about why we had our own event, but this is in our own event based out of Chennai that happened in Anna University. So there are many things that I have been on stage. This form helps me expand to people live in pan India, not just sticking to Chennai, Bangalore, or the South, but I wanted to expand pan India, and hence I took the online workshop way. I've designed and implemented sales systems for multiple industries. How this happened is because of working with business owners closely. They started coming up and saying that you set systems for the company. Can you help us set systems as well? And that is how the journey of designing sales and systems happened, right? That transformed, that one-on-one approach, that consulting approach expanded to me doing these workshops and me being this coach for all of you today. And number six, as I said, I grew up in a family of businesses. There are more than 10 businesses that are up and running right now, from exports to retail to finance to real estate. So though I've not ran the businesses, I've got insider understanding of how the business runs from a ground level. And I think that is going to be a bit of learnings that I'm trying to even incorporate in this workshop. Because there's one traditional way of business and then there's a digital way of business. Having seen both, I love both. And I think right now, at the stage of where we are in the market, there should be a mixed form of business. There are certain lovely points when it comes to traditional way of doing business, and then there are lovely points when it comes to the digital way of business. I mix both. Today you're going to see how you can mix both as well in order to focus on your sales. This is going to be very business specific, revenue specific, sales specific, right? This is one of the screenshots. There's a reason why I put this screenshot to you. You see this, Shakti converted this call to. This is one of my one-to-one clients from Jan 2026. We've been working even before around November, December itself. And you look at Shakti converted this call to. This is a posture alignment specialist that is not a doctor. Hence, the trust building is very difficult. But you see, converted this call to, she has 17 years of experience, and it took her time to understand how can I create an offer that I don't undercut or I don't give my offer in discount prices. I want to price my genuine pricing, which also gives me a little bit of profit, and also I'm happy with that pricing. Shakti converted this call to is in her actual offer. And from there on to now, she's in my long term. I travel with her in a long term in my mastermind as well. But there's a reason why I put this screenshot. All of y'all inside, you have the capability of coming and telling me this as well. Provided you take action for these 4 hours, provided you take into concepts, you understand your current sales experience, and you take home and apply. If you have a sales call today, I highly recommend you learn it and you apply it today itself. In any of the meetings that you need, I want you to apply concepts so that you can come back and tell me like this, right? Shilpa, I'll tell you, I handpick people. I don't work with everybody. Every single long-term client that I have worked with in my mastermind also has been handpicked. So travel with me, take the value of 4 hours, and then we'll see. Quickly, I want to understand your definition of sales. What does sales mean to you? Type it in the chat box. We'll spend a minute or two in this because I want to understand the room. At what idea do you think sales means to you? Type it in the chat box. Service, good. It can be a couple of words that come up to your mind. It can be a sentence. Type it up. Solving problems, got it. Addressing and providing what the person is concerned with, got it. Others. This is super important, guys, because if you're not able to reflect on your current sales definition, you won't be able to connect with the new sales definition that I'm going to tell you also with, right? Helping people find a solution to their problem. Got it. What else? What else do you think sales is? What is your definition of sales? So long you've been selling. If you're in this room, I know you've been selling, right? That's a part of your job role. That's a part of your description when you do business as well. So I want to understand, what does sales mean to you? Solution, addressing the pain points, solving problems, service, what else? Solving problems, got it. Shall I tell you what I have learned sales to be as? For me, sales is a game of both heart and mind, both emotions and logic. How many of you all feel this is new? Type new in the chat box. This is a completely different outlook. It's like, I've always been on the logic end, or I've always been on the heart end. I've not connected both. I've not connected the heart and mind, right? I'll tell you this. Let's look at all the important parts of life, important decisions that we make as human beings. Now, this is something that all of you will definitely agree with, because I know for a fact that we humans, when we look at the difficult decisions in our life, all the major decisions, be it our career, who do we marry, where do we choose to live, what kind of education we choose, where do we choose to study, right? Where do we choose to work? Which company? All of these are super important decisions in life. Agree? Type agree in the chat box if you agree with me. They are super important decisions in life. You'll have to be with me. The chat box is the way I know that you're not sleeping over there, right? So wake up and be engaging. Yeah, agree? If life itself, now tell me all those decisions you took thinking from the heart first, thinking from what you are feeling. Are you feeling good with it? Are you feeling happy with the decision? And logic entered later. You first decided that you wanted this field, and later you figure, okay, I chose this field, now how do I make it right? Logic comes secondary. Emotions come first. This has always been our human understanding of how we make decisions itself, right? There are research papers written on this also. When it comes to heart and mind, I believe sales also is a part of life. So sales also means there's both heart and mind connected. There's more emotions and logic connected. Now, I want you to put a number to this. Now, this is a matter of fact where you understand what kind of a game you have been playing when it comes to sales. If I ask you to put a number to emotions or logic, what would it be? 50-50, 70-30, 30-70. Put your number in the chat box. Your ratio. What would be your ratio of heart and mind, emotions and logic? How much of emotions would you apply in a sales meeting? And how much of logic would you apply in a sales meeting? Fifty-fifty, emotion 70, logic 30, 50-50, 90% emotions. Good one, Pradeep. 50-50, Shilpa. Got it. For me, I've always seen sales. The time that this shifted, everything shifted in my sales. I saw it as a 90-10 game. How many of y'all, this is a wow number? 90:10. 90:10. Emotion and logic. 90% emotion, 10% logic is used. I will never put zero for logic. I'll tell you the reason. Logic means you take care of your pricing. You take care of your profit margin. You take care of your revenue. You see, are you making enough to fill your tummy and fill your employees' tummy also? And then take home some money as savings also, or reinvesting in the business. All of that needs some logic. So I'll never put zero for logic, right? I'll tell you what emotions is. The 90% game is to first getting your customer, right? Your market comes to you. That's one. Second, you understand your customer. You understand what pain point do they come in. Emotions play a huge role over there. Then you try to solve their problem. You try to solve and explain, hey, I understand your pain point and I can have a solution for you. And then only you sell the product or you sell the service. All of this is a 90% game. After this comes the logic game of the pricing, of the profit margin, all of that. Right? That is why this is a 90-10 game. For how many of y'all, this is a wow moment? Type wow in the chat box. You have always, I've seen people always playing the logic game or always playing the emotion game. They would either be too nice on a sales call or they would be too rigid on a sales call. They would be too cut to throat in a sales call, or they would be more goody goody on a sales call. You see a difference? For me, it's both together. Where you have to be nice, be nice. Where you have to be cut to throat, be cut to throat. That is where the 90-10% game comes in. Now you need to know where to apply 90, where to apply 10, where to apply emotions, how to apply emotions, where to apply logic, how to apply logic. And that is where you mastered the sales game. This has nothing to do with what product you sell, with what service you sell, how many years of experience you have, with what industry you are in. How many of you all agree? It has nothing to do with what you sell, but it has everything to do how you sell. What you sell, how you sell. This is more important than what you sell. You can sell a 10 rupee product, you can sell a 10 lakh product with the same ideology, right? There are two people in sales. I'm going to divide the room today, right? I'm going to divide the room into two parts. This part is fun for me, a little tough for y'all, right? I'm going to divide the room into two bits. Be ready with your chat box. People who feel sales is hard and people who feel sales is easy. If you're hard, type hard. If you're easy, type easy. Which kind of a person you are? Type it in the chat box. Easy? It's completely okay. Or if you're in the middle, no, type middle. I know. There was one phase where I felt I was in the middle. Hard? Hard? Yeah. The reason I'm able to split the room is because I have made the jump from the hard to easy. I've made multiple peoples make the jump from hard to easy. There is a clear difference. I think 5 differences that makes you go from, hey, I feel sales is hard to go to sales is easy. And for the ones who said easy, there's an even more better option. I tell you that. Once you look at a 5, you'll be like, okay, there's more that I can do. Right? It's a never-ending circle. It's always in practice mode, right? Sales. So there's always a better version that you can apply, even though it's easy. Pradeep feels middle, Aryan feels hard, Shilpa feels hard, Batula feels hard, Puni feels hard, Xmart. Xmart, I would love to know your actual name. So see if you can rename yourself. I think Xmart is your company's name. I love to call people by their names. So yeah. Now I want you, in order for you to go deep into hard, easy, deep into how to shift, how to make that jump, even if you're in the middle, you need to understand your current sales experience. And we're going to go deep dive into that today. Whether you like it or not, you are a seller. How many of y'all are in the core sales right now? Type core in the chat box. You are the reason why revenue falls into your bank account. Type core in the chat box. Srijesh, got it. If you are the major revenue making person in your business, whether it's a solopreneurship or a professional or you're running the business, I want you to tell me if you are the sole breadwinner in the business. Tell me that. Opening up the chat box. Pradeep feels scored. Aryan is scored. Got it. Others? There's a reason why I'm calling you all out. Because whether you like it or not, I've seen business owners who refrain from doing the sales because they say sales is not my cup of tea. I believe if you're at any level of life, sales is your number one role. You're in a profession, you're working under somebody, you're an employer, right? You're an employee, you're an employer. Both sides, sales matters, right? What you sell is different. Selling is going to be a core part. Either you sell you as a product to your employer, or to, if you're a coach, or if you're running a business, you sell your product as service. Doesn't make a difference on what you sell. How you sell, you being a seller is the work that needs to be done. The only difference over here is you need to jump to the easy side. You need to jump to the hard side, right? We're going to go deep dive into what this hard side is in a couple of time. There are 5 ways to go deep into your current sales experience. 5 whys. Now, every single time I have either lost a deal or won a deal, I go back to these 5 whys, and that is why I have made it a point that I look into these 5 whys for you as well. We'll go one by one. Number 1, whether at any point of sales you are in, conditioning is one major reason why you can either lose deals or win deals. How many of you understand the word conditioning? Or if you don't, type don't in the chat box. Do you understand or do you not understand? Type yes or no in the chat box. It's easier. You understand? Divya says yes. Yeah? How many of you all don't understand conditioning? It's like, this is new for me. Type no in the chat box. I am okay to take both. This is a place of learning, and the more open you are, the more you get out of me. the more I am put to use. Yeah? No? Got it. Thank you for being open. Conditioning, I'll show this to you in a diagrammatic representation, okay? This is very easy to concept-wise. On theory, it's very easy, but in real life, it's a little difficult. This is society. You see all the Zuzus, all these dolls. This is society, okay? This is you. The different colored doll, Zuzu, is you. Be the movies, be the culture, be the people around us, be the way that we have seen other people selling things to us. All of this is a conditioning, right? Every single time you see something happening, your brain goes that, okay, that is how it needs to be done. And often, I've seen the movies, the cultures, sometimes the people around you, your relatives, your parents. If you come from a family business background like me, then you'll understand that inside the family itself, they will teach you how to do business, and your brain is conditioned to do business that way only. Your brain is not conditioned to take another path that might work also for you, that can make your business 2x, 4x also. That, I believe, is manipulation. All of the things around you, it doesn't have to be all. It can be even one, just movies or cultures or people. This thought that selling is equal to manipulation would have been seeded in your mind. And this thought, this belief that selling is equal to manipulate, I need to oversell, I need to over discount, I need to cut down my offers. If my sales goes in this particular way, only then I will close the deal. That one belief of manipulating can cost you every single sale. How many of you all want to hear my story of when I understood that this conditioning is making me lose deals? Type me in the chat box and I'll tell you the story. Right? If not, I won't. No problem. The reason over here, when it comes to conditioning, it sounds so simple, but it's one of the major whys of your current sales experience. If you're undercharging, if you're underpricing, if you are no, if you're always people are discounting from you, asking for discounts, if you're not able to have a set tone, if you're not to be able to build authority in your sales call, if you're not able to build trust in your sales call, all of these, the grounding starting point can be conditioning. This is a story from around when I was a freelancer. I didn't begin business right away. I was in a freelancing mode as well for quite some time, around a year, close to a year. During that, I used to get good leads because I used to write on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has a very intellectual audience. So a lot of leads came to me. And the very first thing, I got this one lead who's now a very good friend. But that time, my urge when I got his lead, when he reached out to me, immediately my thought process wasn't that I need to serve him, that I need to figure out a plan on how I can handle his social media. I was doing social media services at that time. So I didn't think about what to do in order for him to give results to him. But my first thought was whether should I charge him 30,000 or 60,000. That time the thinking of Ekta was, I had a partner, a fellow freelancer, and we both used to do big projects together. That time, big projects was 30,000 for me. So what I was thinking is, if I take 30,000, then I'll have to split for 15. But if I take 60, then I can take 30 per month, and she can take 30 per month. Then it will be more easier. How many of y'all think I closed that deal that day? Type yes. If you think you closed, type closed. If you think I lost the deal, type lost in the chat box. Quickly, I'll tell you what happened then. Lost? Exactly. I lost the deal. And the reason I told you now, he's a good friend. He came back to us 3 years later, asking for the same service. But by then we had an agency built. We had a 20-member team. And we had, we would have worked with around 100, 120 clients by then itself. So there was a lot of work to show. And when I asked him, why didn't you onboard with me 3 years back, but now you're coming in? And he told me, now I have the trust that you will pull it off. You understood that small conditioning, if That time, that Ekta, instead of talking about only the pricing, would have drafted out a neat plan on how to handle his social media, what all to do. He would have been one of the largest clients that I had in my portfolio at that time when I was a freelancer. For how many of y'all, this is new? We think conditioning, we think manipulating is something that is something huge. You're cheating somebody. No, it is not about cheating. It is about even what is the first thought you are getting when a lead comes to you. Are you thinking from a perspective, from a perception of how much money can I take out from his pocket? Or are you thinking from a perspective of today a person came to me and asked for help? Let me see how I can be of help. For how many of y'all, this is a game changer? This is a different thought process because there are different people from different walks of life in this room. I want y'all to acknowledge this. There could have been a chance. Think about your previous sales experiences. Think about your previous sales calls. We would have done this knowingly or most of the time unknowingly. When you believe that selling is equal to helping, this is your client. Okay, the red color is your client. When you believe selling is equal to helping, you join hands together to help another person. That is when your sales changes from a thought process, from a mindset point of view. This is the very first why our dissecting of the current sales experience will go more deeper, but I believe that it all starts with this conditioning. Repeat with me, guys. Selling is the most human act of helping someone solve a real problem. Helping someone solve a real problem, you guys said when I asked you all the definition. I want you to brain it and put it in your mind that it is the most human act. Type it in the chat box. Human act. It's very important because in the rush of making money, in the rush of building revenue, in the rush of, okay, I close deals, I'm going to close deals, I have 10 leads in my hand, we move away from thinking this from a human perspective, from a human act perspective, from a helping perspective to a revenue perspective every single time. Right? This can be even if you're making lakhs or few thousands or few crores, this conditioning can be there. Yeah. Number 2, fear of rejection. How many of y'all have this? Type me in the chat box. You can be open. This room is a very safe space. You'll have to be pretty open with me to tell I have this, I don't have this, so that I can be of use to you more. I had this, I still do as well at times when the deals are when it's a very high stake deal, right? But there is a practical way of overcoming this fear of rejection, of putting down, stacking wins that show you that you are not having that fear of rejection. And there's a very practical way, right? I'm going to tell you the mental shift you need and then also the physical action you need to take in order to handle this fear of rejection in an easier way. The conditioned belief of every time a rejection comes in, immediately our brain thinks, I'm not good enough. So what we do when we are in that thought of I'm not good enough is that we shrink our price. Even if you look at it, your shoulders will also drop. Immediately you hear a no, you'll immediately be like, oh. Your shoulders will drop, your energy will drop, all that. I will go to a stage where you said, I'll give you at half of the price, sir. I'll give you at half the price, ma'am. Or third part, which I did, which was the biggest foolish mistake. I'll tell you this, I'm telling you my foolish mistakes. We don't follow up also. In our brain, we have already lost the client. So why follow up is what we think. This fear of rejection makes us do these things. How many of y'all have done it? I've done all 3. That's how I'm able to pen it down also. How many of y'all have either shrunk, your energy has gotten low, or you dropped your price, you discounted your offer, or you didn't even follow up the client because in your mind you thought he already is a rejection, right? The shift over here is I want you to understand that no's are normal. Not all of your people that you meet, not every meeting you take will turn into a customer, and you should be okay with that. But one more add on to it. My mentor used to tell me this whenever there was a phase in our agency, as the agency was picking up from 2020, There was a phase where we were telling there's so many competitors entering the market. What should we do? And my mentor told me this one sentence: there is food for all. There can be multiple players, multiple fishes. There can be sharks. There can be tortoises, like turtles. There can be all kinds of animals inside the ocean, and everybody will be fed. They all have food. Type it in the chat box. Food for all. This one mindset, every single time where I understood that the no is coming in, I asked myself two things. One, did they leave because something in my offer, or did they leave because they're just not my customer? Because there have been multiple chances where you would have faced a rejection because not because of something you have done or in your process, but because they are not your customer, right? Food for all. Type it in the chat box, guys. This is one learning that helped me sail through all the energy lost in the meeting whenever we face a rejection. This helped me sail through it. And then there is a physical action that helped me understand even deeper in numbers, because I believe numbers don't lie, right? So treat every single meeting that you take like data. Every single no as data, every single yes as data. We track our clients, we track our incoming clients, we track our yes. We don't track our no as often, right? When there was a drill that I had to take in the initial phases of my sales journey, that I took 100 calls, right? 100 calls in a month. And when I took that 100 calls, these are proper 30-minute meetings, okay? And I had to put everything into an Excel sheet, a simple Excel sheet. I would love, I don't even go to the level of CRMs. I run an Excel sheet itself. So when it comes to Excel sheets, there was one more column that I added. Not just yes or no whether they onboarded, but I added a column. If they said no, what is the exact reason they said no to? So I jotted down a couple of reasons that they might tell me no. I used to mark it down then and there. Every single yes I got, every single no I got. From 100 calls, I got 92 no's, 8 yeses, 8 deals closed, 92 deals didn't close. How many of y'all think that is a very huge ratio number? Type huge in the chat box. 92 is to 8. Very huge ratio, right? A big chunk of your calls didn't go by. And I was hitting my head. One, my energy was low, but I also had a question. Why did 92 people say no to a very good offer? What is the issue with the offer, or is there any issue with the process that I make? And that is when I started jotting down in the comments column why they told no. And when I took patterns, when I put it into a small table, I understood how many people told me it's a budget problem, how many told me it's an offer problem, how many told me that I need time to think, right? All of these objections or reasons, I jotted it down and I could understand. Two things came up majorly. One, I need time to think. Second, I don't have the budget. Now, at that time, our pricing, our services were a 2 lakh pricing, right? For a quarter. And when it came to agencies and all of that, many people felt 2 lakhs per quarter is too difficult to do. But I knew for a fact that if they experience my service, if they experience how we work as an agency, even for a bit, they will fall in love with us. It's just the gap of experience that I need to give them. So I went back to our partners, we went back to the drawing board, and we made a 1 lakh offer. How many of y'all think I closed the 1 lakh deals also? Type yes in the chat box. If you think I didn't, type no in the chat box. Yes. From those 92 ones, I went back and saw how many people told me it's a budget problem. Called them up again and told them, now I went back to a drawing board and we have built a new package for you. We want to discuss it. And we started closing deals from there. So even the 2 lakh product sell, even though 1 lakh product sell, right? But I could do only this. I could do all of this only if I understood data. If I didn't have data, I would be sulking in the corner saying, why is 92 people telling no to me? No, not to the offer. No to me. Understood. That energy would be drawing back and I would never go on the route of taking more calls. This fear of rejection would pull me more. The physical action you take to overcome, because I'm not going to sugarcoat, this fear of rejection will be there even if you have the highest experience in the field. Do a help for me. Type your experiences in the chat box. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. What's your experience? Type it in the chat box. I'd love to know your years of experience more deeper. 8 years. Wonderful. Batula says, Kiranmay, sorry, been calling you by your second name. Kiranmay, 8 years. Others, what's your years of experience? There's a reason why I'm asking you all this. What's the years of experience you guys have? Tell me in the chat box. When it comes to data, right? When I was a beginner, I didn't know that we have to track this data and all of that. That was the 6-8 years me. And when it comes to now, every single meeting goes onto the calendar. Every single meeting is tracked with an Excel sheet of what happened, when happened, what process, what did the customers say, what did the clients say, why did they drop off, why did they not drop off, how did they tell us yes, how did they tell us no. All of these give us patterns to get better at business, to get better at revenue. 22nd year, 4 years in sales, 1 year. And all of y'all would have faced the rejection, right? We have variety over here. 8, 4, 22, 1 year. Yeah. All of y'all face rejection. Veera, can you do me a favor of telling me, do you feel rejection now also? Do you have this fear of rejection now also after 22 years? Yeah. It's been close to 9 years since I've started anything, my exploring and all of that, right after my education. It's been 9 years, right? So every single time, even now, there's a high stake deal, which is of crores. I do get that fear of rejection. But the only thing that will help you to get over this fear of rejection is data. That's the physical action you need to take. If you're not tracking data, then you never know why you're feeling what you're feeling. You never know why a person told you no. You'll never know why a person told you yes. And this is how you improve your approach. By studying patterns, we improve that we need another package and we rolled out that package and we made money. We didn't leave money on the table. As simple as that. Even after a 1 lakh package or 2 lakh package, people tell us it's not our budget. Then food for all of us concept. They're not our customer. Right? And I'll give you an extra tip. Now, this helped me to raise my energy every single time I heard a no. If you hear a yes, you have more energy. All of us, we are trained when it comes to meetings and all of that. We do handle our calendars. How many of y'all have use the calendar method? Use the calendar for your work and all of that. Type calendar in the chat box so you'll understand this even better. Right? Every single meeting I've taken goes onto my calendar. I have a very colorful one. So every time you hear a yes, you have more energy. Go take 2 more meetings. That energy will help you close the other 2 also. But if you hear a no, that means automatically you have low energy. Nobody likes to hear a no. After so much time, effort, money, and all put into a meeting, sometimes we spend money for ads also. So we spend a lot of money there. And after that, leads not converting is low energy, right? Go have a coffee. I'm a coffee person, so I wrote coffee. You're a tea, go have a tea or a juice and do 1 more meeting. This 1 more meeting is the magic. If you hold yourself, no, I'm not going to do sales meetings anymore. I'll maybe hire somebody to do it. No. 1 more meeting is how you step by and take the next step to grow in sales. Selling is a practice-based thing. How much ever you learn this in theory, I have a couple of activities that we're going to do today, right? How much ever you do things in theory, you need to do it in meetings as well. Practice is what will help you when it comes to sales. And I would be the voucher for that, because I know I started from knowing nothing about sales, though coming from from a business background, and I had to learn from the mistakes, and the learning happens. It's a wonderful journey, right? But for that, you need to pick up your energy and take more meetings. Number 3, the perfect script or the pitch. How many of you all use a script or a pitch? Type me in the chat box. The conditioned belief around the perfect script or a pitch is that if you have that perfect script or a presentation, I will be able to memorize the right words and hence I will close more deals. It is the thought process of having that perfect script to close more deals. But there is a mental shift that I want you to do that, because the script or the day when I took over the sales in the agency, I was also, my partner gave me his framework, his scripts, and use this. And for the 100 calls, out of 30 calls, I used the script, and it never felt me. And that is when I learned something very crucial. I dropped that script, I dropped that safety net, right? It is not actually situational. It can be very thing. If I'm telling you to drop the script, that means I'm going to give you all something even better, right? So when I say the scripts acts like safety net, not for your customer. It works for you, so that you don't fall or mispronounce a word or say something which you didn't have to say, right? I believe the best conversations are happening when it is based on two human beings and it is not a rehearsed approach, right? Having a script or a pitch will make it rehearsed. How much ever we try to not make it rehearsed, it will make it rehearsed. And we are not human to human business. You can sell anything. You can be in a B business. You can be in the B2C business. But this, you are always in the human to human business. The day the world becomes more of robots and AIs, it will change, but not for now. We're not looking at that at any part right now. Humans are still going to be the core, right? And when you're selling, you're going to sell to another human. You do it virtually, you do it in person, it's another human. I don't want you to have those conversations rehearsed. I want you to have those conversations in a very raw approach. And what I mean by raw is range. Pen and paper, guys. Type PP in the chat box so I know you're ready with your pen and paper. Activity time. I told you to drop the script. Instead of a script, you're going to use range. And this actually, some of y'all might already know, but you haven't been using it or you haven't been using it well, right? A range is, I'll tell you my range. Take a piece of paper, write I am, and draw a big curly bracket. Be with me, listen to my range, and then you can make yours so you understand better. I am a daughter, I'm a girlfriend, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a business owner, I'm a sales and mindset coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a pet owner. My dog is right outside the door. I'm a reader, I'm a coffee lover, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a person who loves adventure, I'm a person who takes risk, I'm a Netflix junkie, I'm an art junkie, I come from a family of businesses. This, everything is my range. All of us have range. All of us do multiple things at any given point of time in our life. It's just that when we do sales, we are so focused on selling and talking only about the product, only about the service, that we forget that we have to have a human connection. We have to have a human conversation. Every single message that we send out, every single meeting that we take, every single call that we take with a potential customer is always about the product or the service and not about who we are as a person or not about them, who they are as a person. I want you to write down your range. If you want to do it in a paper, you can do it. If you want to do it in the chat box with me, you can do it in the chat box. So I can correct you all as and when as well. Take 2 minutes to write down your range and pen it down in the chat box also so I can understand you better. Once you're done, just write a couple, 5-6 parts of your range. You can put it in the chat box so I can get to know you better. I'll tell you the most easiest form. For example, a pet owner. If I have a dog, and if I meet a potential customer who loves dogs, who loves cats, we're going to talk about pets first. We're not going to talk about product or service first. There was a time when I took a meeting. Now she's our client. It's been 3-4 years since that meeting. When I took that meeting, there was a big painting behind in the background. And I quickly asked her, it's a wonderful painting. Where did you get that? And she said, oh, we didn't buy it. We made it. Me and my daughter made it. And then we had a conversation. I draw and paint and all of that. So we had a deep conversation about art first before even talking about what we're going to do. That time we still sell our services as an agency, right? So before talking about the services, before talking, she comes from an IT background, before talking about IT, tech, and all of that, we first spoke about art. Very unrelated, but this is what builds trust. Our whole idea, we hold that script to build trust only now, but you're holding something that makes you a robot to build trust. I would rather ask you to hold range to build trust, because this is how your rawness comes out. This is how your conversations be very natural. Who you are as a person, your personality will show, right? If you guys are done with the range, type a couple of them in the chat box so I get to know you all better. I know we can have some similarities between our range also. So I'll know if we have some similarities. Quickly, guys. I have a lot to give you all today. Prabha, you'll have to write your whole range. You'll have to make one. This is like my range, right? I've given you a whole list. I want you to make your range. You completed? Perfect. Pick a couple of them, around 4, 5, and tell me in the chat box now. Others, are you done with your range? Dog owner. Oh, nice. What kind of a dog? I have a lab and a indie mix. Hosting parties. Poodle. Oh, nice. Wonderful. I once saw a full family of poodle at ITC. Nice. Bringing people together, hosting parties. I love creating programs, family of businesses. Wonderful. See, we have so much in talk, Divya. If you and me are meeting in person or virtually, we will be talking about dogs, family of businesses, parties, these programs before even talking about what we actually have to talk about, right? I'm a single mother of 2, super strong, a good communicator. I'm selling to help them. Wonderful, wonderful. If you're a good communicator, then I take it, Prabha, you're also a reader. Then we'll be talking about books. We'll be talking about communication in a much more deeper way. Daughter, coffee lover, homebody, cat owner, love art and music. Art and music is something that we'll be talking about for me. You love traveling, cat owner, art and music. Kiranmay, then we'll be talking more about traveling. I'd love to hear those travel stories first. I'm a daughter, sister, friend, mentor, dog parent, animal communicator, artist, dancers. Then you got it. We're going to talk about animals first. I'm driving enthusiast, son, husband, father, business owner, yoga, good listener, reader. I have a lot of friends who do yoga, Pradeep. So we'll be talking about yoga first. We'll be talking about books. You understand that in order to have a conversation, you don't need a script. You don't need a presentation. You just need to get those hints from your customer, and you can build from it, right? This is how you can actually build trust. How many of y'all understand the concept of range? Type me in the chat box. It's so lovely. You don't need that piece of paper, that script to build conversations, to use the perfect scripts, but be that person, be that human, show who you are, right? That is why selling with heart. right? There's this term also in the investor world. Most of the VCs and investors don't bet on the startup, on the product, or the founder, or the service. They bet on the founder who's building the product or the service, right? They don't bet on the cart, they bet on the horse. Every sales meeting, they are not betting on the service or the product, they are betting on you. You're that horse. So make sure you build trust on that, right? That is super, super important. For how many of y'all this is new? Type heart in the chat box. This is something that you're going to take home and apply. You can apply this. It's super easy. Nothing that I will tell you in these 4 hours is going to be difficult concepts, right? Everything is super easy. Number 4, salesperson mindset. Now, this is something super, super important because I believe this might also be a huge reason why you're inside in this room learning about sales. The conditioned belief of this mindset is sales is transactional. You give your product, you take money from it, you move on. No relationship building. I've seen this more often in brick and mortar businesses, in very traditional businesses. It's a salesperson mindset. But the mental shift that I want you to do over here is you become the doctor. You become the diagnostic mindset. You first understand and then prescribe. How many of y'all have family doctors in the room? Type family doctors in the chat box. You go to family doctors alone. Me. Why do you go to family doctors, Prabha? Can you tell me why? Why do you choose family doctors over other hospitals or over other reputed? Trust. Pradeep says trust. Exactly. We all think only a doctor can do that, but we can also do it. I'll tell you exactly the process and I'll connect with how you can do it. You go meet a doctor. The first thing you need to do is book an appointment, right? You book an appointment. You show up on time and the doctor will be there. Doctor also shows up on time. Once you meet the doctor's immediate question would be, what's happening? What's wrong? And you explain the whole pain points, the problems. The doctor tries to understand, okay, this is what you're facing. These are your symptoms. Let's understand the root cause. Let's understand why this is happening. So he will diagnose. Once he diagnoses, he will say, okay, this is the root cause. Now, this is the treatment. These are the tablets. This is the medicine. If I need more understanding, I'm going to prescribe you some test that you need to do, some scanning that you need to take so that I can help you better. And after that, he tells you, you can pay my fees at the reception. How many of you all understand that this is a pakka process of trust? Type me in the chat box. If a doctor would have right away, before you book the appointment itself, when you said what's wrong, what's happening, before even trying to understand your pain point, charges you a bomb, would you even want to continue with that doctor? Or he sits you down, he asks you what's your problem, and you just would have said one sentence, and immediately he would have said, okay, so this is the solution, ABC, I want you to take ABCD, test, scan, everything. Would you have trust to go do that, or you would go and take a second opinion? You understand? This is how an approach of a doctor does, and all of us can do that. Before talking about a service, before talking about a product, we try to diagnose, be the doctor in your industry. Now, if there are any doctors in the room, you already have DR in front of your name. I'm not asking you to put DR in front of your name, others. I want you to have that diagnostic mindset. Prabha says he knows my history. Exactly. How can we get to know our history of our customers? By researching about them, by understanding, okay, this is all that he or she is coming us with. Let's take out the time to understand the root cause, and then we'll prescribe the solution. We'll prescribe the service or the product, and then we'll talk about the pricing. This process is a diagnostic mindset process. Again, I want all of you all to put your years of experience in the chat box. Do it for me again, please. It can be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I want you to put your experience in the chat box. Years of experience. Quickly. 22, good. 22, cool. Do you believe you can be the doctor in your industry? Type yes or no. Yeah. Do you think your current sales systems are in line with this diagnostic mindset? Reflect upon your current systems. Are you diagnosing first or selling first? Are you being the salesperson mindset, or are you having the diagnostic mindset? I'm asking you to become the trusted expert of the doctor of your industry. I've seen people who have done a lot of work. If you are in this room, it means you have done the work. I filter out nicely, right? Exactly. I want you to be the doctor. That same process that a doctor follows, you can also follow. It's not just stuck to a doctor. You can bring it for your system, regardless of even if you're selling a manufacturing product or if you're selling a tech product. I've applied this for both, so I can tell you. Yeah. Number 5 of your current sales experience of why things are happening that way for you right now, at whatever level of business you are in, at whatever level of revenue you can be in. The number 5, why? Yeah. In insurance, people fear the diagnostic more because in insurance, there's more care involved. You need to add more care into it. You need to understand why a person, why should I invest, put my money in an insurance? Why should I do it? Because insurance people always want to sell the policy. It's not about selling the policy. It's about what would be taken care of after the policy, right? So that's the gap when it comes to the insurance firm. Number 5, only gifted and talented people can sell. Now, the conditioned belief, right? This is also something that I had. Thankfully, I had a mentor who took me out of this. I want to be that person for you today. Sales is for naturally gifted, talented people. You should have a gift of selling. I've seen so many people saying, I'm not a salesperson, and they refrain from making revenue. They are super, super good in their product. They're super good in their service. But because of this mindset that they are not a salesperson, they refrain and put some other person in the front seat to drive the car. Imagine buying a wonderful car and putting someone else in the driver's seat to drive it. That's how it feels. The mental shift
was different in the music.
The mental shift that I want you to do right now is this one video that my mentor showed me. I'm going to show you that video. How many of you all know Ed Sheeran, a singer, right? He's a music artist. How many of you all know Ed Sheeran? Type yes in the chat box if you know him. If you don't know him, also no problem. This video, you will know him now. This video is the video that my mentor showed me. And that was a major shift in my thought process of how you don't need to have talent or a gift to sell. I'm going to play that video for now, y'all, and look into the video very, very carefully, right? Have all your ears to it.
Was different in the music you were doing then as opposed to.
I'm going to play you a song.
Okay.
So this is my thing. When people go, you're so talented. You were born with natural talent. I'm like, no. Okay. have a listen to this. Right. This is the.
Has this been played in public before?
No.
Okay. So this is an exclusive. Ed Sheeran when he was shit, basically.
Yeah. Basically, all I'm saying is when people say artists are born with talent. You're not. You have to really learn and really practice. This is me playing guitar and singing. I'm going to put it into my mic like this. It
okay so far.
It starts off. It hasn't started. Hold me.
I'm addicted to you.
And then.
But I'm
But you know what? You know what? I did practice.
After that, you practiced.
I did. Yeah. No. I did. I probably needed it.
Don't want a Justin Bieber's track.
How many of you all understood this video? Type yes in the chat box. This is very important one because this one video when my mentor showed it to me, I was like, if artists needed so much practice and they didn't actually have the talent for it. They practiced and made a name for themselves in the market. Then probably I have the chance to, right? If only I commit to practice, if only I make sure that I am going to work on getting better day on day, day after day, right? Ramesh, I won't be able to go to the previous slide, but the previous slide was about diagnostic mindset. Here is the mental shift I want you to have, because some of you all, we might not knowingly have this conditioning, but I want you all to understand that this sales is a skill and anybody can learn it. Right? If you go to a kid and ask it to sell lemonade from a stand, they would walk in more confidently and sell all the lemonades and come to you and give you the money. But when we have asked an adult to go put a lemonade stand and sell lemonades, all the thought process, beliefs, I won't be able to do it, confidence things, what will people think about me, seeing myself selling a lemonade stand, all of that comes in. Only for adults, not for kids. I'm asking you to go back to that kid, go back to the phase of practice, go back to the stage that, hey, all that it needs to do is a bit of practice and I will keep getting better because it's a skill that I can learn. Now, here is where you can differentiate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The people who are doing good money in sales, who are actually good in getting good revenue, who are closing deals, who are building good relationships, use both the head and the heart, the mind and the heart. They don't leave out the logic. They don't say, I'm okay, I'll make revenue without profit. Or they don't say that I will make money only when I get my profit, or I don't want to do the process. I just want to make money directly. They will take the process of solving a person's problem. They will take the process of relationship building, even though if a sale takes more than the speculated time. If a sale takes more than a week, it's okay, but they will help people understand and then only sell. You use both your head and heart. How many of y'all, this is a wow moment? Type wow in the chat box. Most of us think it is more of a talent that we need, but skill can be learned. Practice is all that you need. If Ed Sheeran can do it, I think we can do it as well. Repeat after me, and I want you to type this fully, guys, fully. I can sell because sales is natural to me. I want you to type it fully. Sales is natural to me. We all have that kid in us who will sell a lemonade very confidently. I want you to bring that kid back. Right? Perfect. Perfect. Now, what is natural? We've been talking about natural for a very long time. We've been talking about heart for a very long time. We understood our current sales experience, but I want you to understand that natural means heart. And I've spent quite some years doing sales the wrong way and the right way. I've spent quite some years losing a lot of deals, winning a lot of deals. And in this process, I kept asking myself, is there a framework? Not the CRMs or the tools that you need, not that kind of framework. Is there a framework that I get to apply in my meeting itself, in my sales meeting, that will actually help me to see the difference in my sales meeting? I believe sales doesn't happen in the pre-sales or the post-sales. Sales is that 30, 45-minute meeting you take. That's all. What you can't do in 30, 45 minutes, you cannot do in pre-sales or post-sales. How many of y'all understand? Type understand in the chat box. If you can't do your best, if you can't build trust in that 30-minute meeting, virtual or in person, it can be anything. If you can't build trust in that meeting, you can't build trust over a message, over a text, over an email also. For that is where heart is applied. Heart is applied exactly in your meeting. And these are methods, 5 letters, 5 methods that you can take and apply today in your meeting. H stands for human understanding. How many of you all believe human understanding is super important? Type yes in the chat box. You think this is super, super important even at the start of the meeting. Yeah. But I'll tell you there's an easier version to apply human understanding, and that is the human scan method. Now, quickly, I want you to scan me and tell what do you feel by seeing me? You're seeing me on video. It's been more than an hour now. What do you feel from seeing me? Type it in the chat box. Quickly. We have 5 letters to go through, 5 methods. So I want you to be quickly, keep your hand probably on the keyboard itself. So it'll help you. Yeah. Authentic. What else? What else you see from me? Interesting. Good. Here, we are all humans. You would have scanned me from the very moment you entered this room also. Right? And the thing is, we don't do this in the sales call. We need to do this method, use this method to scan our customers, to scan the people that we take meeting with, right? The human scan is exactly 5 letters. H stands for hungry or not. Are they really hungry for my product or solution or service, or are they just window shopping? Number 1. You need to scan for this. Number 2, are they unsure or overthinking? I will tell you exactly how this will look in your meeting also. Unsure is they come into the meeting and they immediately tell you, I don't know how this meeting is going to be. I don't know where to go. I don't even know whether you're the right person. And they'll be going saying, I don't know. Yeah? An overthinking person, I just got a deal even yesterday like this. On Saturday when I took a call. Overthinking is they will come prepared and send you a Google document also if needed about all the thought processes on they think why they need your service or what is it that they want to do. Right? We do personal branding services. So a person just shared me a full document about why and how they want their personal brand. That's overthinking. Right? Motivated or stuck. I'll tell you how this exactly looks at. In a meeting, motivated means they come very structured, they know what they want. When you talk to the person, you will see so much clarity, right? You'll be like, you are my prime customer. If every customer comes in like you, I will be super, super happy, right? It's like your ideal customer has just walked into the room. Stuck means even after understanding and diagnosing the problem, they still have that uncertainty. They still feel that I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why your product will help me. I don't know how it will help me. I've invested my money for a very long time and I don't know if this is the right investment. They will be talking a lot of I don't knows even after you discussing and being that diagnostic person. Anxious or calm. Anxious or calm, exact scenarios I'll tell you. Anxious is they'll walk into a meeting, in person, virtual, doesn't matter. They will not make eye contact as much. They'll keep breaking eye contact. They'll have distractions over distractions. They might be even taking the meeting via driving. How many of y'all have had that situation? People don't make eye contact. They say that a phone call is even is more than enough. They take a meeting with you. You are selling something, but they're taking a meeting driving, or the team is walking in, or they're picking up the phone. They're getting disturbances. They're getting distractions over a meeting. How many of you all have faced that sales calls? That's anxious. The opposite is calm. Calmness is where many times, got it. Calmness is where you will see them coming in a very, very undistracted zone. They will make eye contact and they will be like, now it is only you. For the next 30-40 minutes, my focus is only on you. That means they're very calm. And this sales can always happen when they are in a calm situation. I'll tell you how to make them calm also. It's the next method. But calmness is very important in a meeting. How many of y'all feel calm now? Type calm in the chat box if you feel calm. Yeah. N, needs now or later. When you scan, You need to scan for this this is a major thing. Otherwise, you would be spending the next 25 minutes or for 30 minutes talking with the wrong client. Do they really need my product or service now, or can they come later? If they're later, don't waste your time. Openly tell them, hey, I don't think I'm going to be of use to you now. Probably I'll connect you to the right person, but I don't see synergy happening here. Be very open and be very, very caring when you say that. But if you say needs now, that means you know you are going to spend 25 minutes of productive time on your sales meeting, right? This scanning will take you only 2 to 3 minutes to do. Can we do that? Can we apply this method in our sales call? Type yes in the chat box. Just 2 to 3 minutes will save you a lot of time, right? E, emotional safety. Now, I told you, how many of y'all feel safe in the room right now? Type safe in the chat box. Some of y'all have opened up about your years of experience, your work, your fears inside the room by now. You feel safe to do that? Yeah? You feel safe to do that? It's my duty to make this room safe. I would have told you all that this room is a safe haven. This room, you can be as open as possible, right? For me, emotional safety is very important regardless of what we are in. We are in this program. I do the same thing in the meetings also, and I would highly recommend you guys to do it also. And I tell you, there are simple 3 things that you need to do, and it will take you only 30 seconds to make that easy. Yeah, to make sure that your customer feels safe with you. Number 1, energy. You enter grounded, calm, and warm. Not that hyper robotic person or that aggressive person. How many of you feel the energy in the room now? You feel the energy? Type yes in the chat box if you feel the energy. You're able to understand things. You're able to feel me, though we are not actually in person, right? Some of you might also feel that I'm talking to you directly, right? That's energy. Your energy matters because I think energy transfers. If I am sitting in a shabby, if I'm not dressed up for this meeting, if I'm not taking these 4 hours seriously, would you take this 4 hours seriously? Would you take time to learn? Yes or no? If I'm sitting shabbily here, if I'm unprepared for this meeting, for this program, for this training, would you feel like sitting in this room also? No, exactly. Energy matters because my energy transfers as well. Your energy transfers in a meeting also. So you're working on your energy will help another person be safe, feel safe. Number 2, smile. You use this, no? This face is a signal. I highly recommend, if you don't know how to have a poker face, to learn how to make a poker face. But the face is your signal. When you smile, you exactly tell them, I'm not here to hunt my next client. I'm here to help. Your smile is the number 1 easy factor that can shift the energy in the room. How many of y'all felt that today? We spent like 1.5 hours in. How many of y'all feel that? Smile can be the change. Smile can make you feel safe also. Yeah. How many of y'all feel that I feel in the chat box? Good. Guys, 100% energy. Right? Care. Your tone. When you say, I get you, I hear you. This versus I get you, I hear you, and I'm with you on this. Your care, by now I would have used a lot of for you statements. Be open so I can be of use to you. Make use of me, right? These are all caring statements, and I made sure that I use them. By now it's become my speech. It's become the way that I talk, right? But initially it was difficult. It took me time to incorporate that in my way of language, my way of speaking. But if you can apply this, it will take you less than 30 seconds to shift the energy in the room and make your customer feel safe to travel with you. For the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they will remember you lifelong. I just took a meeting of a person who came back to us 2 years later. I didn't remember much about them, but they remembered very well about it. Right? This is what happens when you go from a safe zone and not from a hunting zone. type safe zone in the chat box. So I know that you are going to apply this 30 seconds rule in your meeting. Right? Perfect. A, articulation and clarity. Now, articulation and clarity is basically both the words and with what clarity you speak your words also. Here, something that has helped me and my clients over the time is the positioning sentence formula. I made it very easy for you. All of y'all, be ready in the chat box. Type PP. So I know you guys are ready. We're going to do this positioning sentence formula together. PP in the chat box. All of y'all. You're going to enjoy this, right? Most of us, whenever we get a meeting, right, in the very first few minutes of a meeting, every single customer will ask us this traditional question: what do you do? And what do you say is not blabber, is by saying this sentence. That is why I'm going to make you all make that sentence now itself. Listen to an example that I will give you all, and you can make yours after that. I work with dash to help them achieve dash. The first dash is your filtered high niche audience, right? Your target audience, specific target audience. Be as specific as possible here. Second dash is your outcome. What is it that you will give them after your service or product? What do they get as an ROI? Here, I'll give you an example. I work with busy professionals. Busy professionals is target audience, specific target audience, to help them achieve 5% body fat loss. This is a fitness coach's example. And this person works in different capacities, one-on-ones, group coaching, all of that. Goal is 5% body fat loss. I want you to make that example. Sharma, make it and I will help you in correcting it as we go. Put your sentence in the chat box now and I'll help you in the correction. You know your field better, guys. I want you to make the sentence. I'll help you in correcting it. Type what feels right to you and I'll help you here. We're going to spend good 3 to 4 minutes in this activity now. This is super important because this makes or breaks the authority that you hold with your audience. This makes or breaks. If a customer is taking you lightly, it is because you didn't do the positioning properly. They don't see you part to part as equals. This sentence is very important to draw that line with the customers that, hey, this is who I am, right? I work with divorced working women to help them achieve, heal, and rebuild and transform the new version of themselves. Wonderful. Good one, Prabha. I help middle-class families to secure big education funds for kids, higher education. Got it. This is your doing. What is the outcome, Sharma? Once they secure education funds for the higher education, what's the outcome that they will have? I work with young couples to help them achieve financial freedom. Wonderful. Veera, see if financial freedom, if you have numbers, if you have helped, let's say you have helped around 100 plus young couples, add that number. That is like taking it a bit notch. For example, if you have noticed in my background, I told you guys I worked with 500 plus UHNIs and HNIs. That was a plus, an add-on that will build the credibility, right? A lot of us think how to build the credibility, how to make people trust. All of these are words help in building that credibility. Wonderful. Sharma, after that, once they secure that education fund, how will their parents feel or how will the kids feel? The outcome. This is you doing the process. I want you to talk about the outcome as well. I work with people who are single, dating or married or separated or help them to commit to a powerful. Okay. Got it. Creating a powerful marriage or relationship. Good. Basically help people to get into or build wonderful relationships, personal relationships. Good. Others, drop your statement so I can be of help to you. You can use me here. This is a direct statement that will help you when it comes to your positioning. The very first 5 minutes, definitely your customer will ask you, tell me about you, tell me about your company, what is it that you do, and you use this positioning sentence. Exactly. The second one is good, Sharma. That hits the chord of, okay, so he will help me this, so I no need to do ABC. Right? It will hit the chord in the mind. Good one. Good one, Sharma. Now this one is the exact thing. How many of you think I am talking with a lot of clarity? Everything that we have spoken in the last 1.5 hours makes sense to you? Yes or no? In the chat box, did it make sense to you? Yes. That is also because of the fact that I know exactly who I'm talking to. So I'm able to position. When I sat down, I was very careful about what to speak and what to not speak. Right? How do I draft my thought processes, my learnings, my concepts in such a way that one, it doesn't feel heavy. Second, it should feel applicable. Do you feel this position in sentence is applicable? You can connect with it, you can use it. Type me in the chat box if you know you can use it. So I know you're going to use the method. Because I know in a sales meeting, I don't focus on what is pre-sales, post-sales. You can have wonderful follow-up system. You can have a wonderful messaging system. All of that is there. But the 30 minutes now makes or breaks a meeting. I want you to focus on that 30-minute meeting. Yeah. How many of y'all want to see somebody who used heart and not just she and her husband as co-founders, but made the team also to apply heart? How many of you all want to see a person like that? Type yes in the chat box and I'll show you her. She's somebody that's super close of my heart. We've been working together for the last 3-4 years, if I'm correct. There you go.
I was impressed with her knowledge and experience and maturity and her ability to connect and gain my trust. She trained our team for like a sales calls, how to talk to the clients, how to connect with them, understand their problem and establish the authority. Through her training, team was able to close the sales calls better now. And she has knowledge beyond her age. Sakti has given more than few advices to me, how to handle the team, how to handle the emotions and how to talk to the clients and how to make them see the value of the product. What are the questions to be asked and how to bring them to the mindset so that they are open and they can understand and trust our product and services. I have applied her techniques, I have applied her knowledge and able to immediately change the sales call to say, when do you want to sign up kind of a thing. The client was asking those kind of a questions. So we trusted with everything we needed to do. Also, she became part of the family because the way she is loving and caring and doing things and connecting with us, she's like a daughter to me. And I wish her all the best in the sales training webinar. And I know she puts her heart into everything and she also helps everyone how to do everything with the heart and be successful in everything they do.
So she's Girija. Girija and Shivapunyam, they are two people, husband and wife, running an IT services company based out of US and India. They're expanding at this point, hence the sales team also is expanding. And the major factor that I've seen is heart can apply regardless of the industry. I see tech as one of the toughest industries in the market to crack because most of people, when they sell tech, they sell through demos. They don't sell through relationships. They don't sell the hard way, right? Trying out the hard way in a tech field, in the market, which is very, very red ocean, was something that I experimented years ago, and it worked. And I was so happy to see that even in a field that is so technical, that is more productized, heart can work, right? So that was one of the systems that I knew that heart will work regardless of any industry. She's been one of the kindest persons that I've ever met, and I was so fortunate to meet her 3-4 years. The art person that I was telling you, having the painting behind, it was her, right? So we connected, and now she is more like family. Now we'll go on a short 10-minute break. So it's exactly 10:42. At 10:52, type 10:52 in the chat box. That is when we will be reconnecting. I want you to take out your phones and scan this QR code, because this is how you mark your half attendance. This also is marking your half attendance to get those ebooks from me, so that you can take action even after 4 hours. My team has also dropped the link to the form that you need to fill. So fill it out, and I'll see you in 10 minutes.
I'll smile, I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down, and all through the night time. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah. I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries today. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Break down, only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding now, hiding out deep down. Yeah, I know, I've heard that to let your feelings show is the only way to make friendships grow, but I'm too afraid now. Yeah, I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable. I'll smile, I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down and all through the night time. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah. I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries today. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Break down, only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding out deep down. Yeah, I know, I've heard that to let your feelings show is the only way to make friendships grow, but I'm too afraid now. Yeah, I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. I'll smile, I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down and all through the night time. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah, I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Break down, only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding out deep down. Yeah, I know, I've heard that to let your feelings show is the only way to make friendships grow, I'm too afraid now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Persian with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today.
Yes, guys. Type back in the chat box so I know you're back. Back? Perfect. Wonderful, Divya. Wonderful, Veera. Wonderful, Shilpa. So we're officially finished the first 2-hour set of the 4-hour workshop. How do you feel? Do you feel it's worth it? Have you got your paisa vasool of 49 rupees? How do you feel? Tell me in the chat box. Do you feel the concepts of what we have seen in the first 2 hours feels wow, feels like you can actually go and implement things, you can execute, you've got a plan on what all are the bits that you need to get work done on? Yeah, wow, lot of learnings, wonderful. Now let's complete HEART. We stopped with A, right? Now R. R is something that I think is super, super close because I believe relationship first influence in sales will not just take care of your sale today, but will take care of your sale even tomorrow. I'll repeat. Relationship first influence will not just take care of your sale today, but will even take care of your sales tomorrow. It is not about bringing money today. It's also about bringing money for the future inside the company, inside the business, in your bank account. How many of you all understand that? Understand that it is okay if it is, yes, I need to make revenue today, but I also need to make revenue tomorrow. And your selling is not about just today's money. It's about tomorrow's money also. If you have any doubts with this, ask me and use me as in, because this is a very, very important part that you need to cover, that you need to learn. Relationship first influence. Now, the method that I have learned for people to not take me lightly, for people to understand that I am giving something of really good value that is going to change your lives. When I have to make my point very clear, when I have to build authority, when I have to come across as a person of equal stature, if I have to come across a person that you should not take very lightly, I use something called the king-king conversation. Right? The king-king conversation, I'm going to show you in a very diagrammatic presentation because I think this is one of the simplest ways I can tell you. Let's look at a chess piece, okay? The king piece is your buyer. Your buyer is the king. Customer is the king, they say, no? So buyer is the king, okay? And the pawn is you. When you play the pawn and your customer plays the king in a conversation, it is always a please buy from me energy. Now, mind it, I'm not telling please buy from me as a statement. We will never go ask our customers, please buy from me, because that is begging. But we might come from that energy. How many of you all are able to relate? Type relate in the chat box. You're able to relate with this topic. Sometimes, though our experience holds a lot of value, we know we have the best product, best service in the market. How many of you all believe what you sell is the best in the market? Type best in the chat box. What you sell is the best in the market. No, none of your other players will be able to give the product or the service the way you give it. Best. Veera says best. Divya says best. Pradeep says best. If you are the best in the market, it is your duty to not play the pawn game and play the king game. When I say king game, your buyer is the king. You are also the king. When you do this, you don't give please buy from me energy. You give glad to associate with you energy. People, your customers, when you end the business, when you shake hands on a business, deal closes. They don't look at it from a point of view. They don't look at it from a point of view saying that now I'm giving you money, you need to work from me. No. They tell, I'm looking forward to using your product. I'm looking forward to using your service. That is glad to associate. To go from please buy from me to glad to associate, it makes one shift. The shift of you stop playing the small game and you being the king in your conversation. And the easiest way to make not be the pawn and be the king is to use range. To drop that script and make the conversation a human-based conversation. This is where your customer and you are equal, right? Has anybody in the room, and this is something very sensitive, but you need to be open with me, please do, so that I can connect with you here. Have you ever had a call, a sales meeting, where a person is looked down upon you? Type yes in the chat box if you have had that scenarios. Anytime. It can be any of the calls. It can be just a couple, it can be in the recent conversations and a conversation previously. Have you had people who look down upon you? Who treat you like they are not equals, they treat you like subordinates, right? The reason Pradeep says yes, Pradeep, the reason that might be is because we are not coming across as a person of equal stature, though we have the experience. What makes you come across as that person of equal stature is when you be open and you show, hey, this is me, this is my range, this is all that is about me. Right? How many of you all have met people that you just give them a topic and they can talk about anything time to time? They'll be talking about a topic, you just give them something and they'll have a conversation about. How many of you all have met such people? Like me in the chat box. You have met people who can build conversations about anything, right? Be it tea, coffee, or what is happening in the economy. Right? We all have met people like that. It can be in our family, it can be in our friend circle, it can be in our business circle, it can be our team. We all have people like that. The wonderful way to have a conversation, I believe, every conversation we have should be a king conversation. Not just a sales meeting, but even a team discussion. Even if you're meeting with your team members, you have a king conversation. Equal, eye-to-eye conversation. Nobody is high, nobody is low. How many of y'all, this is new, KK is new, type KK in the chat box. Sometimes we struggle to make relationships because we are coming across as that pawn and not as that king. Yes, we do that even with our child, yeah. But I heard this because I have a nephew and a niece, right? The times where I sit down with them and I talk to them, even if they have done some mistake, when I sit down with them and talk to them eye to eye and say, hey, I know this happened in school. I know this has come in, but tell me what happened, right? And then when we sit and have a conversation, nobody is high, nobody is low, nobody is pointed out for that mistake. They open up to me and they say, this is what exactly happened. And then I'll be able to help them even more. Now, this I did with my niece and nephew. How about you do this with your customer who most probably is a stranger, right? If they're a stranger, then it's super important to do the king. You don't look up on your customer. Customer doesn't look down upon you. As simple as that. Treat them as equals, be the equals. The easiest ways to have a king conversation, right? T, trust-based closing. If HEAR is done right, T is the easiest. Trust-based closing. And you only need one small method to get the deal done, to get the commitment, right? Trust-based closing is nothing but the I language close. Now, I know this can be contradictory. Be with me and I'll explain you the method. I always believe that any deal that happens, any trust, any sale that happens because of the trust. It's not about the money. It's not about this, how small the deal is, how big the deal is. It's about the trust, right? The person is trusting you, not just with their money, but they're also trusting you that you will take them to a better place. How many of y'all agree? Type agree in the chat box. It's not just about you taking money for the product or the service. It is about them genuinely believing that using your product will help them. Using your service will help them. In that trust, this method is a crucial method to implement. The I language close. And it's just one statement. Copy it. You can cut, copy, paste. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Here is how I can solve this for you. Before you talk about your product, before you give them the solution, I want you to use this statement. How many of you all think this can be implementable? You can implement this statement when you talk to people. Type yes in the chat box. You can implement this. Here is how I can solve this for you. Very simple statement, but I'll tell you what shifts. Just this statement, these 3 words in the statement, right? I can close. The I builds the one-on-one connection. Feels like this person is truly trying to help me out here. It increases trust. It reduces the tension. Every single time we have a problem in life, we have tension also. Problem and tension goes hand in hand. We are friends, right? Every time there's a problem, there's a tension. You can feel that with your customers. What are you doing to reduce that tension? You are doing by using the I language cues. And using this makes you the king automatically. You might not have even applied range, but using just this statement will make you the king automatically. And it makes your offer personal. Now, how many of y'all have offers that are same for everybody? You have one offer and it works for all of your clients. Type me in the chat box. You don't give customized packages. All of y'all have a fixed offer, fixed product, fixed packages. Type me in the chat box quickly. Fixed. Yeah. Now, something that can happen with having fixed packages is that when you sell it, it might feel like it's a common approach. The customer will not feel special. How you can make your customer feel special is not by giving them a customized package, but by using the statement before you giving your package, before you explaining your offer. Yeah. When you make your offer personal, all these will denote to moving towards a commitment. After this, everything that you just need to do is, if they have a pricing problem, see the budget and then close the deal. That's all. This I language close itself will do the 90% work for you. Right? After this is just closing. We'll come to closing. Yeah. Now, most of us think we need to use the V language, W-E. What happens with the V language is, the V language is wonderful for the team. It's wonderful when you're building a team internally. You use V. But when you do a sales meeting, it's always a one-on-one. That is how you can make people feel also what you are exactly trying to do here. What you're exactly trying to feel. If you are caring, they need to feel the caring. Only then they will trust you. You are caring, but you're not denoting that you're transferring the care. Then it's not going to happen. How do you transfer the care? I language close. With that, your old sales flow that look like pushing a client, pressuring a client, chasing a client with multiple follow-ups, manipulating, telling them that we have multiple offers and all of that, changes to first understanding it from the human level, connecting with them, understanding their pain point, guiding them, trying to give them a solution, being the diagnostic person, and then inviting them and saying, here's what I can solve for you. How many of y'all make a promise today that you will use the new sales flow and not the old sales flow? Type new in the chat box. This is a commitment, guys. I don't take commitment lightly. Right? I'll repeat. I don't take commitment lightly. The new flow means you will always look from a human-centric point of view, not from a money point of view. Money is important, yes. We'll come to money also. Money is important, but not at the cost of relationship, not at the cost of understanding a human being. Right? Now, when it comes to selling with heart, we look through the current sales of experience. How many of you all felt heart was wonderful? How many of you all felt heart can be applied in your 30-45 minute sales call? Type yes in the chat box. Yeah, Divya says yes. Heart is easily applicable, but even more than heart, I think we have to go more deeper into selling with heart. We need to go more deeper into what are the 4 areas that if we correct, we will exactly be able to draft out and get better in our sales, right? What I tried when I was defining this, I tried to remove all the jargons as possible, right? I didn't want this workshop to be of jargons. None of the tools, CRMs, if you're expecting CRMs and tools, then this is not your place. The 4 areas is your foundational areas. If your foundation is not right, no strong building can be built over it. How many of you all agree? Every building needs a super strong foundation. If you're trying to build a 4 flat, right? 4 floors flat, you know that the constructor, when they construct an engineer, goes 4 flats deep also. The same height, they go even more deeper inside the ground. That is how a good foundation is built. I believe in sales, that depth that you go into is equally important. And that depth is 4 areas today. How many of you are excited to understand the 4 areas? We have work to do. I have specific activities in each area which you will be doing with me. How many of you are excited? Type excited in the chat box. Excited? Excited? Wonderful. First area, money beliefs. How many of you think money beliefs and sales is connected? Yes or no in the chat box. I'll take both. Yes or no? Money beliefs is connected with sales or no? Yes, direct connection. Yes. Aryan is still in the last question. Aryan, come to this question. Yeah. Money beliefs is basically 3 parts, right? I believe if you ever look at your pricing, if pricing is your problem, I always go back to the money beliefs first. Then it is the logic part. If this is not correct, then the logic also would be correct. I'll explain to you why. When we take through these 3 things, you will understand how you see money, how you make money, and how you spend money. These are the 3 areas, right? Now, in these 3 areas, it's very important that you go deeper into all of this. See, make, and spend. We're going to go deeper. Every thing in this world has an emotion. We humans are emotional beings. We will connect emotion with every single thing. Money also has that emotion. And I'm going to make it more easier for y'all because we have only 4 hours. Without going so deep, I want you to understand that this emotion has a negative side and a positive side. We're going to break that negative positive side today. How you see money from a negative emotion perspective, and guys, be with me, be very open. It's very important that you be very open when we discuss this topic because this can be a ground reason of your sales, right? We can see money as fear, as anxiety, as guilt, as shame, as jealousy, as resentment, as scarcity, as doubt, as unworthiness, as pressure, as avoidance, as control. I tell you mine. Mine was unworthiness. That was mine. Right? For a very long time in my initial journey when I was a freelancer and then started the agency in a very starting phase, I think that itself was 3 years of my journey. I always felt that unworthiness. Right? Though I was making decent money, I didn't feel worthy of it. Right? There was guilt also somewhere tied up. There was fear also tied up. Right? How you see money can be any of these emotions. I want you to type your emotions in the chat box. Acknowledge it. Only when you acknowledge something, you are aware of it and you can change it. If you're not acknowledging it, it means you are not making the chance to change it. You're not making the choice to change it. Prabha says scarcity. It can be anything, any one of them or a mix also. There is a positive side to this money also. You can see money as trust, as confidence, as freedom, as detachment, as gratitude, as ownership, as clarity, as ease, as expansion, as neutrality. There are two words that I put in a bold: gratitude and neutrality. Neutrality, I believe, is the highest form of how you see money. If you see money as neutral, it's like water. It will flow. You put in any bucket, it will flow. That is the highest form. But in order to go to that pace, I think gratitude will help you go to neutral. The reason is, there was a time when I was just a freelancer. I was beginner. I was making a couple of thousands every single month. Not to an extent of how now we are, but at that phase, I remember I used to not tip people. I used to not focus on or observe what is around me. When we used to go to restaurants, I used to take things for granted. But then my mom called me up and she was like, I see that you're doing this pattern. This I've been observing you that you're doing this pattern. Why aren't you tipping the people or saying thank you to people who are around you, who are making you comfortable? Yes, you spend on a bill of a restaurant, but are you taking a chance to tell thank you for the person who opened the door for you, who made sure you have water in your glass, who made sure that your food is tasty enough? Are you saying thank you? If you are saying thank you, you will not think twice to even tip 1 or 2% or 5% of the bill. And that was a game changer, because so long I was thinking about money from a negative emotion. I was holding on to it. I was controlling money. But when I said, okay, for me to give comfort, for me to be comfortable, there are people around me who do things and I don't notice them. Let's give gratitude to them. Let's change the way that I see that money. And I started tipping, not much, 10, 20 rupees I started tipping. There was another scenario that when I was very young, because coming from the family business, we had local business. So there was a lot of cash roaming around. I didn't know it that time, but now I can recollect. My father used to give me a bundle of 100 rupee notes and he says, self-count. Whether you're right or wrong, I don't care. Count and tell me. And I used to count every single time. It used to be a +1 or -1. And when I used to count the 100 rupees, something that I think now I understand is that my father made it easy for me to feel money, to be with money. I don't get scared with talking about 1 lakh, 10 lakh rupees. Conversations that are crore worth deals, that are high stake deals, don't feel scared. I think that fear came out that time. If some of you all have fear, anxiety, or guilt with money, you just need to go to the bank, collect a 20 rupee or 100 rupee bundle of notes, just a small bundle, and sit with it every single day. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you take a bundle of money and sit with it every day, count it? Yeah. How many of you think this is a doable task? What I'm asking you to do is doable. Type doable in the chat box. This one thing I didn't know then, but I never had the fear of talking about money. I never had the fear of seeing zeros or adding more zeros to my service because of that factor. Yes, I had unworthiness. That unworthiness was the tipping culture that I had to do, that I had to implement. But the fear and all were these small activities. We all can do this to show gratitude. And the easiest form to shift to a positive side, to get trust, confidence, freedom, all of this is possible if you do gratitude as your starting point. Do you commit to showing gratitude, even if you have the least amount? I know we are starting at the start of the month, so you do have a lot of money. Your invoices would have come in, your salaries would have come in. So I know you have money in the bank account. Can you feel grateful for the money you have in the bank account right now? Because there are people who don't even have that right now, roaming and struggling. Type it in the chat box. I am grateful. Even if you have just a couple of hundreds and thousands in your bank account, I want you to feel grateful for it. because that hundreds and thousands make up to be lakhs and crores. If you are not grateful for 10 rupees, you will not be grateful for even thousands or lakhs rupees. Do the activity, and I'm going to ask you to type I'm grateful in the chat box now. All of you. We are 25 people in the room, all of you. This is the easiest form to shift the way that you see money. If you can be in any negative emotion, you can shift to the gratefulness. How you see money is how you will sell money. If you are fearful of talking about 1, 2 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakh rupees, you will sell also with that same fear. How you deal with your money is how you will deal with your business money also, right? How you make money. Number second, this is very important. We can make money with both negative and positive emotion. I'll break it down to you. I'm putting all the emotions on the screen so you can choose. Negative, by hustle, overworking, burning out, inconsistency, chasing, desperation, discounting, over-explaining, proving, people-pleasing, undervaluing, reacting. Type yours in the chat box. Which emotion do you think you are making money at this point? Mine was burnout. There was a time in life, I think 2-3 years ago, we were making good money as an agency. Systems were set. But I burnt out 4 times in just 1 year. I landed up in a hospital burning out. Right? I was making money, but I was making money by burnout. Discounting, burnout. The positive side is by value exchange, by leverage, by consistency, by clarity, by attraction, by confidence, by simplicity, by ownership, by intention, and by scalability. The bolded word here is scalability. I'll tell you a small story of a person that I met. She has 17 years of experience. She's a wonderful woman. She's in her 60s right now, but she has wonderful experience. She works with people and help people relieve their pain. She's a pain management specialist. She relieves pain where you feel that there are people who have back pains and their shoulders are tilted or their back is tilted, their spine is not proper and all that, right? She deals with that pain management. She's a posture alignment specialist. When I had a meeting, I met her 2 years back. When I met her, she was so concerned to the fact that, Ekta, I am superb in my work. I know I provide. I know I can help a lot more people. She has averted more than 1,000 plus surgeries. But when we were looking at her revenue numbers, she was charging 10,000 rupees for a 3-month package that kept on extending. And when I asked her, why are you extending without getting another payment? She's like, I don't know how to ask them for another payment. With so much of experience, we can still struggle to look at money and make money from a scalability point of view. And you know what? We went on a drill. We made her fix her pricings. She will do minimum around 50 to 60,000 for a 3-month package, which is enough to pay her team, which is enough to pay herself, which is enough to even keep some money for profit. And sorry, she's in a field where she has some patentable projects, but each patent, even to bring it to market, is going to take 3 lakhs. Each patent, she has multiple patents like that. I asked her, you are not charging to fill your tummy because she's rich, she's pretty much retired, she's in well-off state. So it's not about her tummy. You are charging to scale your business, to bring those products to life. Fun fact, she's in a long-term, so I'm connecting with her. She just launched her product this last week. Her first product came into role, which is for diabetes. A lot of people have those tingling sensations in the diabetes, right? She made a product to wear in the foot that helps them in their exercise. That has come into the market. That happened because she came out of the fear of, I will be able to charge only this much, and charge what she is worth of, and also charge enough so that she can reinvest back in the business. Scalability. If you can look at your business, I believe every single product or service can have this part of scalability. Either it is in your own business, or I know people who have taken and invested and made a trust, an NGO, and did their impact via the NGO. They made students educate, They made schools and colleges for students, all of that. That is their way of giving back. You can focus on scalability as making money instead of overworking, burnout, inconsistency, chasing, desperation, discounting. For how many of y'all, this is a heart movement, like heart. Your price will reflect your self-perception. The reason I'm telling you this is because actually, Divya, it can work for anybody provided you know how to scale. For example, I understand from where this is coming in because you think it's always going to be a one-man job. This pain management specialist also, now she's building her team. Now she's hiring her physiotherapist so that she can build the team. It is not only solely dependent on her. But in order to even look at scalability, you need money in the bank. You need to have money to reinvest in the business, to proper hire the right team, to reinvest in products or services, to expand the team, to expand the business. You need the money. And that doesn't come by charging less or discounting. There is a difference between the reason I'm telling about self-perception is there was a time where the freelancer Ekta never even thought she will be doing such programs. Never even thought that she will be this coach. She always thought about those few thousands. She didn't think about the potential that she can carry. The potential now after closing crores worth of deal, that Ekta will not even believe it. If there was a time machine, I could go and talk to her, then there would be a different form. Right? But that time, if I would have had somebody who could knock me on my head and said, hey, you're thinking too small, grow big, you can actually scale, maybe things would have even grown more faster. I'm grateful for how it went faster because I was thankful that I stumbled upon good mentors who eventually put that hammer on my head. Right? That is why I do these workshops so that I can be that hammer on your head. Yeah? How you spend money, negative, positive. How many of y'all have the thought, Ekta, you spoke about seeing money, making money. How is my spending pattern got to do with my sales? How many of y'all have that thought? Type yes in the chat box. It's very contradicting, but I'll tell you how. The negative emotion that we hold into spending our own money, that's in our bank account, in our savings account, in our current account, is that we can spend with hesitation, with overthinking, with fear, with guilt, with delay, with avoidance, with scarcity, with impulsiveness, with comparison, with justification, with inconsistency, or with restriction. Right? Every single time a rupee goes out from our pocket, we can have this negative emotion. Or we can have a positive emotion, which we choose to have. That is, we spend money with intention. We spend money with clarity. We spend money with priority, with alignment, with trust, with responsibility, with awareness, with investment thinking, wonderful word, with long-term vision, with gratefulness. There is one story that I want you to tell. There are two stories. I'll tell you the first one first. When it comes to gratefulness, right, there was a thought process that broke at one single point of running our business where one of our clients is POC. He was the one who brought us the client. He's super close to us. He was super close to us. He fell super sick. He went to a stage where he had to do surgery. It was a costly surgery. We had to crowdfund for it. And we were thinking, what can we do from our side? And we got a link for a crowdfunding. We shared the crowdfunding link with the clients of our clientele, whomever we think will support. And there was this one client who doesn't even know the other client. Okay, none of our clients get connected with each other in our agency side, so they don't know who it is. But he donated 1 lakh rupees then and there. The minute we put the link in 1 hour, 1 lakh was donated. And that was a considerable amount for his surgery. Though he couldn't survive the surgery, this moment struck with me and our partners. Because if a business owner can be so giving that they can take a considerable amount of their business and give for another person whom they don't even know, then that is a wonderful way of spending the money. Right? And there's another thing that I think I want to tell you guys, because this was also a hammer in our head when my mentors taught me. There was a point in time when no hate for budgets, okay? I do love budgets. But there was a point in my life where every single time I used to spend money, I used to spend money with a lot of guilt, right? I used to spend money with, there's money that's going out of my pocket, my bank balance is going low, which is, yes, going in a negative amount is not fancy to see, right? But there's this one line that my mentor gave me this book and I read. It was like, I think the book is called Happy Money. It was years ago that I was learned this, and the statement is like this: every single time you spend money out of your pocket, regardless of how you spend it, cash or you pay or anything, you tell this sentence: go money, do your job, bring your brothers and sisters. Right? I don't remember the author, but it was one of the wonderful books. And when I started doing that, it looked very kiddish. It looked very kiddish to tell yourself that statement every single time even 1 rupee goes out of your account. But I tell you that slowly started to ground me to think that every money that I spend, it's going towards my long-term vision. It is going to go and bring brothers and sisters. After that, every single money that I've spent, either on me or my family or for the business or for the team, has been from a notion that this is going to come back to us 2x, 3x, 10x. What a wonderful thought, no? How you spend money can be like that also. Instead of all these negative emotions, I'm asking you to make a choice to shift from the positive side, to make a choice to look at it from a long-term vision, to make a choice to look at it from a grateful vision. I know a business owner. I'm grateful to know him that he's touching 100 crores in revenue. This year he would have touched it. And more than just the revenue, I'll tell you what made a wow moment for me when I met him. He's one of our clients also. When he went on a stage, we recently met together on a stage also. He told he's made 1 lakh plus students. After high school, they finish their college and get placed also. Which one is more important? 100 crore in revenue as a business, or made 1 lakh students study even after high school, finish college and get placed? They support till the placement. Well, which one do you think has more depth, more impact? Tell me. 1, revenue. 2, the student study. 1 or 2? Tell me in the chat box. 2. For me, traditionally, because I know the client, I know he rotates the money. Whatever he earns in his business, he's in the inverters, batteries business. Whatever he earns from there, a big chunk goes into his NGO. His NGO is how he makes students study. Goes into the NGO. And we've been grateful from that very moment. Every single speaking gig, every single seminar that we go to as a company, all 3 of our partners, we charge for those seminars, we charge for speaking. That money doesn't come to us. We directly give the charity account and it goes into the charity account for them. That is what we could do from our side. Wonderful thought. If you can shift how you spend money to that level as a business owner, as a thing. I know by now it looked like that is around like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years for some of you. When you said like you have 2 years of experience, 5 years of experience, this can seem very large, very later in life. But you can start small. You don't need to start big. I'm giving you a big example so that you can think of a small example and implement. Your money behavior is your buyer's money behavior. If you are hesitating, you spend 1 rupee from your bank account, your buyer will also hesitate. If you have the fear, your buyer also has the fear. Now, tell me, all the objections that you face, that it's a budget issue, I don't have time. Maybe the same objections you've been telling yourself in your personal life also. How many of you all understand this? Type me in the chat box. All the fear that we associate with our money can be the same fear your buyer also is associated, because energy transfers. How you say 1 lakh rupees and how you say it's 1 lakh rupees has a lot of difference, right? It has a lot of difference. The confidence in your pricing has a lot of difference. Now, I want you to do a activity with me. Get ready. Type PP in the chat box. It's an activity time. PP in the chat box, guys. We're going to set some money goals today. And it can be anyone, okay? You can do this for all your goals, but today we'll look at money goals specifically. Write the amount of money you want in your bank account every single month. For example, 10 lakh per month. Put it in the chat box. This is an example. You write your money, your number. Quickly. 10 lakh per month. This is an example number. I want you to type your number. Put it like this way, Joy. 25 lakh per month. I want you to put it this way. Divya, this is not about you volunteering. This is about your goal. I want you to write down your goal. You might not have this in your bank account right now, but I want you to write the goal down. There's a specific reason why I'm making you do it in this manner. Quickly, let's spend the next 2 minutes in this activity, and then we have other 3 areas to cover also. 5 lakhs per month, good for me. 30 lakhs per month, good. Joy, 25 lakhs per month, good. Now, I want you to attach how you're going to use the money, right? Perfect. You write it in the journal. I want you to write how you're going to use the money now also, Veera. 70 lakh per month, good. 12 lakhs per month, good, Pradeep. I want you to write the usage of that money. Example is 10 lakh per month to reinvest in my growth. The usage of the money. How am I going to use it? Attach that now in the chat box. Whatever number you said, how are you going to use it? Quickly. Type it in the chat box. Think whatever comes in first of your mind. If you don't have a usage for it, then why will you have the urge of earning that money? There should be a usage. Reinvesting in my growth, it can be anything. Buying a house, buying a car, saving for children's education. It can be anything. I want you to write the usage. Quickly. We have another step question. You put your lot of thinking now. To reinvest, to travel, to give people who can't afford what's the real need for them, to family and friends. Good. Good one. Yeah. Veera, it's actually not just about writing the gratitude. It's about feeling the gratitude. I'll tell you how. 20 lakh for reinvestment, 35 for EMI, rest 15 for expenses. Okay. Perfect. Now that you've actually written, Prabha has been very specific. 10 lakh per month after deduction of tax, I will reinvest 40% back in my business growth, 5% donation, 25% personal use, 5% investment, and 5% savings. Okay. 10% charity, 10% saving, 25% expenses, 14%, 14 EMI. Okay, balance saving. Clear loans, invest for training for my professional growth, 5% for Anandam. Veera, so you know Anandam Foundation, good. The client I was telling you was Anandam. Wonderful, wonderful. Here you see, next, you said how you use money. Oh, wonderful. Small world then. Now I want you to associate it with a good feeling. You all told me the usage. I want you to associate the good feeling, not just feeling, good feeling with it. For example, 10 lakh per month to reinvest in my growth, to feel confident. Feel confident is a good feeling. I want you to write the good feeling now in the chat box. You wrote a number, you wrote its usage. Using it will give you what feeling? Quickly type it in the chat box. The reason I'm asking you to put a good feeling is we all set goals. We all set targets for our business. But setting targets alone won't do it. You need to set why you want that target, the usage, and you need to set after you get the target, what is the feeling you will have with it, right? Fulfillment, good. It can be any kind of feeling. It can be comfort, it can be confidence, it can be security, it can be happiness, it can be fulfillment, it can be multiple feelings. But now the number won't feel heavy. Divya, now the number that you wrote for yourself, does it feel heavy? Now that you've written it is for fulfillment? The idea is to, whenever you set your goals, you set your goals with good feelings. You don't just set money goals or any kind of goals. This works with your team also. In fact, we do this exercise with the whole company, especially the partners. We are 3 partners. We go to our seaside resort over the ocean, next to the ocean. All 3 of us pen down our goals individually and the feeling we want. And fun fact, when we actually sit together and discuss those goals, we will see connectors that all of us were thinking the same lines, right? Now that is how your individual goal and your company goal can also be associated with. But it's not just about the number or the usage. It's about the feeling. To reinvest for financial security. Now for the financial security, the 20 lakh number will not feel heavy to achieve. It will feel easy to achieve. A lot of us, when we just say numbers that are crazy, all of this, I take it, it's crazy numbers, our shoulders might feel heavy. But when you associate it with a good feeling, your shoulders are not that heavy. How many of you all understand this? Type understand in the chat box. This is all you need to understand from a money perspective, from a money belief perspective. Because the very first idea about sales has to do a lot with your emotions with money, and then secondary with your pricing. A lot of thing, if I'm not able to sell, then it's my pricing problem. No, it's a you problem, right? It's you and your money problem, your connection with money problem first. Then it's a pricing problem, depends on the market, right? Second area that you need to work on is your communication. How many of you feel you have able to understand whatever I'm trying to communicate with you for the last 2.5 hours? How many of you all feel that? Type me in the chat box. Good, very good. Communication also, I believe, has 2 parts. And you guys are telling good because I've used both these parts, right? How you use your words and how you use your visuals. Words, visuals, very important. Words, I tell you this, in most of the sales meetings, we sit down and we talk about how the market is growing, what the economy is growing, especially product companies. Any product companies inside? Type product in the chat box if you have a product to sell. Whenever we sell a product, especially, I've seen people sitting down with facts, but facts are ignored. Nobody wants to know how much the economy is. Nobody wants to know how much is the market size is. Features. Features is good. You should have your features. You should talk about your deliverables. You should talk about your product, what it includes, your service, what it includes. But there's one teeny tiny problem with it. It gets forgettable. People can't remember the features. Unless and until it's one shiny thing, they won't remember much. 99% of the time. Right? So features are forgettable. I would prefer you to email them properly. You just talk about a little bit about them and email it. You don't talk about, make your whole meeting about features alone. That is why I don't prefer demo calls for the technical companies. Vision can only be felt. And vision is one wonderful thing, is because people subconsciously want to be a part of a larger vision. I'll demonstrate this with you. How many of you all want to understand my vision? Why am I doing all of this? I could have easily been in the behind the scenes, built a company, built the revenue, focused on the revenue, focused on the systems and the business. Why am I even coming out and being a coach for all of you? Yeah. The vision is, there was a time where the Ekta didn't have enough support or didn't know whom to reach out to even get better at sales, right? And because of that, that version of me lost a lot of deals. That version of me lost a lot of support and lost a lot of time also in figuring things out. I don't want that time to be lost in figuring things out, because I believe every single month that you do sales has a lot of potential. Your month 1 and month 5 can be extremely different in 1 year. A lot of us think revenue systems is as 12 months, one physical year. I think in a physical year itself, it can be broken down. Your quarter to quarter can change in a drastic way. And that happens when you work on yourself more. And I believe I can be that person to help you work on yourselves more, because I know sales is not just a one-time thing. Sales is a practicable thing. For that, you need the right environment, you need the right mentorship, you need a person to tell you this is correct, this is wrong, do this way, and you'll see the change happen. You need somebody to handhold you in the process to even do things, regardless of your industry, regardless of the experience. Now, before even testing this in a program, in a workshop form, people started coming up and asking me for help in their business. They are in our agency, they are our clients, we are building their personal brands for them, but then there was a sales issue. And when I started to pick that up is when I knew that the skill that I've learned can be teachable. It can be coachable. Other people can be benefited from it. So my goal is nothing like that. Every large business owner has the money to invest into a team and build a wonderful, strong sales team. But what about the small and the medium businesses? What about the businesses that are just starting out? What about the businesses that are doing decent revenue but are not scaling? What about the businesses that have a wonderful product, wonderful service, but are unable to sell it, right? I believe sales is the only department that brings in the money. Every other department in a business is expenses. Your admin, your HR, your operations, every single department is an expense. Or they support sales, marketing supports sales. But sales is the only thing that brings in the revenue. And I believe I want to work on that department. So I work with small and medium business owners directly on their sales through my mastermind, which is a very 1 year long-term approach, long-term program. And that is how I even work with people in their sales, to work on that sales department, right? And I believe that starts with identity, starts with you and ends with giving it to your team also, so their team can also do a good job. How many connected with this vision? How many of y'all felt like, yes, it's something worth to hear? Type yes in the chat box if you could connect with this vision of mine. Yeah. That's exactly what you need to do, even in your meetings. Instead of talking about features, instead of talking about facts, I want you to talk about your vision. It can be a simple product, but there is a vision behind it. I want you to talk about the vision. I want you to talk about the vision behind why you even give that service. All of us can have it. You just take some time and effort to build it, right? Visuals. Now, your visuals, right? In a meeting, whenever you take your 30-minute meeting, what they see is what they will buy. So what you have in your screen, what you have around you, your elements and everything, all matters, right? This whole thing is an environment. That is what I would call it. That environment has 3 elements. Number 1, object. What are the objects that you can see from around me? There are books, there are some awards over there are some photographs over there. I'm sitting in a good table and chair. There's a good lighting, all of it objects. I'm having a good device. You're able to see me clearly. You're able to hear me clearly. Object, right? This matters in your sales meetings. Visually, it will give you a good approach. Before even I opened my mouth in the start, some of y'all came early and you were waiting. Some of y'all saw me. You would have scanned me for these objects. How many of y'all can reconnect to that 9 a.m. version now? Right? You would have scanned me for the objects. By now, you would have noticed everything around me. We do that. You have done that. Then even your customers would do that in a meeting. Even if you're going in an in-person meeting, objects matter. How you dress, how you walk in, how you speak, what do you carry with yourself, how do you show up, right? Number 2, text. What from a simple WhatsApp message to an email to when they walk into your office, what do they see? All of that matters. Every single message that you saw in the community group was meant to be drafted that way, right? Because I know every single text matters. If we get an email that is grammatically incorrect, that is not drafted properly, the first instinct of us as a human being is like they're not taking their job seriously. How many of y'all, I'll reiterate, how many of y'all think you have the best product, best service in the market? Like best in the chat box. Quickly. You have the best product, best service in the market. Then I think you need to make sure that the text also is the best. There's no grammar mistakes. There is very, very deep understanding. There is a lot of thought that goes into every email, every message that sends to you. Right? That creates a different impact than just your words. 3, people. Have the right people around you, not just your team. The people who vouch for you, your inner circle. The people who you believe are your friends. The people who you trust with your life. Your inner circle matters a lot. I tell you one thing. There was one time when I went for an in-person meeting. I meet in cafes. Right? So when I was we are having a conversation, and they opened up that they also stayed in Chennai, in my area, which I'm right now in, for a very long time. I quickly asked them which year to year. And when I asked that year to year, they were like, from the 2000s to 2010, I was there. I was like, do you know, did you have cable TV in your house? He said, yes. Do you know who was the owner of the cable TV? He told there were 3 brothers. I'm not sure about the name. There were 3 brothers. And I immediately said, one of those brothers is my father. You see how small the world can be. In fact, in this meeting, right, that small world happened. We already knew Anandam, and I was talking about Anandam for so long, right? The world, the people are so knitted. This world is very small. You need to make sure the people around you are not your naysayers, but the people around you who are people who will push you up instead of pulling you down, right? Because your customer can come to you, discuss it. You would have had a wonderful meeting, but later would have gone to your friend and asked, I had a meeting with him, how is he? But if your friend says, don't get that product, it's not worth it, the deal is lost. In your mind, you would be thinking that the deal is awesome, the conversation went wonderful. But your naysayer, your inner circle, your people did the opposite. That is why When you focus on people, have the best of the best and people who will vouch for you in your inner circle. Adore the people who will stab you in the back, basically. Right? So object, text, and people, super, super important. How many of y'all want to see a coach who has wonderful text, wonderful office? Okay. So every meeting it's in his office. He takes care of his objects. He takes care of how he shows up in a meeting. All of that. People was something they need to work on. How many of y'all want to see a person, a coach who's well renowned? He works with only 100 crore plus companies in coaching, legacy businesses. He himself comes from a legacy business. So how many of y'all want to see him working on the people side? Right? Type me and I'll show you the video. There you go.
I found Shakti Ekta on LinkedIn a year back, and the first impression I got from her was the urge and hunger in her to help you succeed and grow in life. And that's something which I found was very admirable in her. Working with Shakti over a period of 1 year was very, very satisfying, at the same time challenging in the right way, because she always believed in pushing my limits and at the same time keeping up with the discipline of consistency always. She always persisted the importance of being deeply connected with people before you even try to sell to them or go into a relationship of sales. Her direct, no going around the bush communication was something that I deeply admired because it suited me very well and it kept me on my toes. So if you're looking for someone who deeply cares about your growth, I think don't look beyond Shakti. I think she'll be the person who will be looking for your growth more than what you can even imagine.
So Vijay Johar is based out of Jaipur, and he runs a jewel business, that is his traditional family business, and he also does business coaching, which is his passion. So you look at him, he proudly used to come and tell me that I have a waiting list of people and my sales, I have no problem of leads. I told him one day that waiting list is going to reduce and become to zero if you're not in the evident process of meeting new people and getting to know them. I know it is coming out of your comfort zone. I know it means you meeting new people every single day. But you got to do it because some or the other day that waiting list is going to reduce and will become nil. And that is when now he's only on LinkedIn. He builds relationships only from LinkedIn. And his relationships are very constricted to his business coaching. So he is still specific, but he's expanding his people circle. He's specific in his circle, but expanding. I want this for all of y'all. I want you all to focus on all three. Environment. The complete environment needs to change, because if you are taking a meeting in a shabby room, right? Or if you are taking a meeting which has dim lighting, which is a noisy environment, it speaks about your work indirectly. You might have the best product, best service, but that will still speak about your work. Even if I take meetings in cafe, I make sure I am in a silent environment because I need to be calm. If I am in a haphazard environment, I'm not calm. So wherever I feel calm, I do the meetings there. I think this can apply for all of y'all also. And I want y'all to apply it. How many of y'all will apply it? Type apply in the chat box. You promise me, you commit to apply. If you're typing you, that means you commit. Yeah? Good one, Shilpa. You need to be intentional about communication, or telling your vision through words, or showing up with the right objects, sending the right text, having people that will only vouch for you is all intentional work. Doesn't happen by luck. You need to put intention. There is some time, money, effort that goes into it, right? So you need to work on that communication with a lot of intention. Number 3, opportunity flow. To describe opportunity flow, I want you all to answer this one question. How many of you think if you increase your sales, you increase your revenue? I'll repeat. How many of you think if you increase your sales, you increase your revenue? Type yes or no in the chat box. It's simple, Funda, no? If I increase my sales, my revenue also increases. Yeah? Many people think it's a direct equation. But I'll tell you, there can be one missing puzzle. And I'm explaining that missing puzzle through this graph. This is a very basic graph that will relate with all of you. I'm going to explain and tell you the graph. This is a revenue graph, a month-on-month revenue graph. So Jan We started good. Feb we picked up. March was again a drop, but same revenue like Jan. April again picked up. May was a dip. June we slowly picked up. July was the worst. August we picked up. September was our best month. October was again a dip. November was worst like July. December we picked up. How many of y'all, this is your revenue graph? Type me in the chat box. There is this up, down, always in revenue. If this is then up, down, then that means you increasing your sales doesn't increase revenue because you are taking care of today's sale, not tomorrow's sale, right? And in order for this graph to be a good, less amount of ups and downs, this revenue inconsistency is self-created. This is the first point that you need to acknowledge, that nobody else is creating that revenue inconsistency. I've seen people complain about the markets, the economy, the war happened, they're complaining about the war, everything. But that revenue inconsistency is self-created because we think it is a lack of sales ability. I'm not able to sell. The market is like this. That's why I'm not able to sell. It's always a sales ability, but it is not a lack of sales ability. It's a lack of flow of people. Type in the chat box, flow of people. It's a very important term to understand, because if you understand this, you will face lesser amount of ups and downs in your business. And eventually you would be a good business that makes money with enough amount of leads. You don't need to run behind leads. Leads will come to you. Opportunity flow is the flow of people. Where there are people, there will be opportunity. If there is no opportunity, it means there is no people. As simple as that. How do you increase this flow of people? You become known. It's a very simple concept, but not all of us do it. Again, for me, I want you to type your years of experience. I'm telling you all to do this enough amount of time so that it drills in your brain also. But I want you to type your years of experience. Veera has 22 years, right? I want others also to type there. Pradeep has 4. Good. All of y'all, we are 21 people. I expect 21 answers in the chat box. 2 years, 1 year, 4 years. Got it. All of y'all, put your experiences in the chat box. 11. Good. This years, do you believe you have enough stories to tell? You have enough experiences to tell, just your case studies and testimonials itself. Type yes in the chat box if you have enough stories to tell, enough expertise to tell, right? Enough work to show. Yes. Veera says yes, Divya says yes. Then I think it is your duty to put those experiences out there, because every single time you shy away from any of the reason, it can be camera fear, it can be writing, it's like I'm not used to writing, I'm not used to social media, it can be any fear. You stopping that and giving that fear to win means you are letting another person who's not that good in business, who's not having a really good product, coming into the market. And people will go and trust and buy from him, buy from her. Do you want the market to have the best product, or do you want the market to have the worst product? Your choice. That is where becoming known is a must do. It's never a must, is a nice thing to have anymore. We are in a market where digitalization is so big that if you don't digitalize this part of your business, the marketing part of your business, a very small people will know you, right? I give you very easy examples. People that time, years back, Vasant & Co, Sarvana. I'm telling you South examples so you understand. If you look at Amul, right? Pan-Indian example. If people know the brand because they put themselves out there, you'll have to, now it's a concern. We can do things about it. We can take action. Maybe talking to a camera without posting for like doing 2-3 videos will get you out of that camera fear. In fact, I also have camera fear. In fact, I don't like to talk to a lot of people also. I'm a pakka introvert. I don't like to be, I'm happy in my corner. But in order to grow the business, I need to become known. And that is how you become known by 12 things. I'm giving you 12 options. You just choose one. You don't need to choose more. You just need to choose one. It can be LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. All of this is free. WhatsApp groups, free. Doesn't cost anything. Newsletter, yes, it would cost anything because you have to use tools and platforms for it. Book, you write. Publishing, you can self-publish also. Doesn't cost much. Podcast, PR. Now, this might need some money, but if you have distribution, PR will also become free. Offline and online events. If you can collaborate with other businesses, other complementary businesses. Community. If you can build a community around what you do, around the work that you do, right? Then there is no other thing that will help you to make sure that people know you for the work. You not need to choose one. I'm telling you this because we collectively, SGI Collective, holds around 8 lakhs of distribution. Through all 3 partners, we hold 8 lakhs of distribution. We are not in the we are not in the dependency of another business, other media company to showcase us. We ourselves will showcase ourselves. We are not dependent for another media article or any newspaper or any podcast or PR to feature us. We ourselves will do the talking. We ourselves will show our work. We ourselves will show what we hold on. And that is how become known becomes a non-negotiable. Because I'll tell you a simple formula. People will build conversations. Conversations will bring conversions. This formula, all of us know. All of you are sitting in the room will understand this formula. You made a choice to attend this workshop also to improve conversations to conversions. I'm asking you to improve people because if you meet 100 people, you have 20 conversations and you have 5 conversions. More the people, more the conversions. Simple logic. You need to work on people. Now, here there can be a gap. Here there can be a gap, or here itself there can be a gap. It is easy to clear the people problem than to focus on this. This will take months and years of practice, which you will either way do. But this is an easier way problem to solve. Right? More people will bring you more conversations. Of course, not everybody will be willing to get on a meeting. So there'll be a drop there. But from there, the conversions will be there. Right? How many of you all want to see a coach who has increased, not just being dependent on referrals, but has increased the form of leads when it comes to her coaching? I think, Divya, this is for you as well. How many of you all want to see it? Type me in the chat box and I'll show you.
Hi, I'm Shenbakam Nadarajan. I'm a relationship coach and I've been working with Shakti for the last 4 months and this has been an amazing journey. Shakti is a powerhouse of energy and honestly, it just amazes me the way she thinks, the clarity that she has in strategy, the way she handles problems so effortlessly. I'm so amazed and you cannot judge her by her age. She'll outthink you and she'll outpace you somehow. About Shakti, it's always about action. For example, I launched my newsletter, which has been pending for 2 years. All it took me was one strategy call with her and I just launched my newsletter. Similarly, I launched my coffee conversations, which is a networking thing I do. I started it after having a strategy call with her. So I think she pushes me to take action. She makes sure I take action and that's what I really, really love about Shakti. If you're someone who's been stuck in the planning mode for a while, if you want to take action, trust me, she is the one.
Shen, I call her Shen. Shenbakam Nadarajan is a relationship coach who has worked with more than 3,000 couples. With so much of work, she always got referral businesses. I didn't want her to be dependent on referral businesses alone. I wanted her to put out a lot of work because I believe she has a lot to just build awareness about her field. This is a very taboo subject, relationships. Right? It's a topic that a lot of people need awareness on. And that is how newsletters came into the gate. And when it comes to referrals, I wanted her to build more relationships. So her coffee conversations is nothing but she meets one new person every single day. She's in my mastermind. That's how I'm working with her right now at this capacity. But Shen is one person that I believe is ought to become known because the best known will always be the best. That's what my mentor used to say. It's not enough that you have the best product, best service. You also need to be the best known in the product market, best known in the service market, right? And that is how you beat the opportunity flow. You'll never have to worry about leads after that if you correct your flow of people, right? Shilpa, how do I work with you? Shilpa, I'll tell you, because I work with people on a longer run. I'll tell you the journey that you need to take with me to learn. I know some of you all others also might have that question. I will tell you that pretty soon. Yeah. Number 4, closing. How many of you all were waiting for this part? Closing, because I put a poll, and many of you all clicked on communication. Many of you all clicked on closing as well. How many of you all are looking forward to the closing part? Because I believe we looked at 4 areas: money, communication, opportunity. Now we come to closing. Most of us think sales is all about closing. No, this is only 1/4 part of the work, right? But this 1/4 also is important. So we'll go deep into it. Closing is basically, I'm going to divide your customers into 4 people. Okay. You can look at your, think about your last 5-10 conversations, and you can relate with these 4 types of people. First type of people, done deal kind of people. This is going to be the easiest closing you will ever have, right? They'll come with a lot of clarity, and they will immediately, after you give them the solution, they'll be like, let's do it. Your move is, number 1, to appreciate their speed, to send them all the details of the deal via an email, and to get the onboarding done. It can be so trivial that I'm putting your move here because I have made the mistake of making a done deal a lost deal also. So your move, the immediate chess piece, the move that you want to play in the game is this, right? Number 2, genuine constraint. Now here is where the confusion starts. We have no confusion with done deal, but all our confusion starts from the other 3 types. Second type is a genuine constraint. That means they really love your product, they really love your service, but they don't have the money to pay you for that now. That means it's a genuine constraint. Your move is to understand why they don't have the money. Will you explore other timings, or give them a lighter option? You remember the fear of rejection. I had a lot of people who used to tell me they really love the product, they really love the service, they want it, but 2 lakhs is not possible for them. So I went back and made a 1 lakh option, and then it got sold. I dealt with genuine constraint type of people, and deals closed, right? Genuine constraint means they really love it, they really want it, but the situation is not that way that they can afford it right now, right? Either with time or with money. You have to deal. If it's with time, explore other timings. Maybe you look at onboarding 3 months, 6 months from now, or give them a lighter budget. Lighter budget, lighter deliverables, lighter showcasing. Yeah. Third type of people, and this is the people that I really love, okay? Negotiation. How many of you all don't like negotiations? Do you like it or not like it? Type it in the chat box. Like, don't like. Negotiations. No? You don't like negotiations, Shilpa? No? I tell you, you should love negotiating people. You should love people who negotiate with you. I'll tell you also why. Because if they negotiate, now, majority is chance we don't want it, but if they negotiate, you love them because they are interested about your product or service. If only you are interested, you will even want to go to the negotiation stage. Otherwise, they'll drop off, they'll fall off. If they're still sticking to it, that means they love your product, they're interested in it, right? Your move, this is where we go wrong. Your move is to go deeper in their pain. Don't go back and forth on the number. If they are saying 10,000, don't stick to the number. Rather, we all make notes. All of us make notes, right, in a meeting. Type notes if you make notes in a meeting. You type down that pain problem like a doctor writing a prescription. You also make notes, right? Yeah. When you make notes, you need to go deeper on the pain. You immediately, when they say, the price is too steep for me, it's like, okay, let's look at the initial conversation that we had. You told me that this is your problem, right? And it goes back to the pain. You reduce the thinking on the money, but you're actually making them think that, hey, I know you're thinking about the money, but the problem is more important to solve. This is what you're trying to do from a psychological point of view. Or if the numbers is going too back and forth, ask openly, Do you have a number in mind? A lot of us refrain from asking this, right? I've seen a lot of people refrain from asking this, but I'll tell you, if it's asked with the right tone, you have a number in mind. Instead of telling it from an egoistic point of view, it will work. These two moves shift the idea of how you play a negotiation game. And number 4, emotional fear. Now, this is a type of person. These are the type of people that you need to put 1 spoon of care, 2 spoons of care, 3, 4, multiple spoons of care. I tell you why. Emotional fear people is not that they have a constraint about money. No, money is not the problem. Pain point is the problem. They would have either burnt their fingers previously investing a lot of money and then coming to you. Some of y'all are in the insurance. One of y'all told me you're in the insurance field. There you go. A lot of insurance field people will be dealing with emotional fear people. Your move is you acknowledge their fear. You first tell it is okay to feel that way. And then you address and understand the story behind it. And you need to promise that you will not give them that same experience. You're going to give them a wonderful experience. In fact, the most extreme opposite end of the extreme where they are happy, that's what you're going to promise them. And you're making sure that your systems and operations provide that. Don't commit if you don't think you can even give them that story. Don't commit if you can give them a different service. Because here it's not a money problem. It's a pain point problem. If you know you can bring them out of that fear, tell them, understand the story, and promise them that they are not going to see the other side of it again. They are going to have a different experience with you. The product or service is really going to work, and then onboard them. Because it's not about the money, it's about the trust over here, even more important. I'll tell you why I differentiated this. A lot of us in closing, what we do is we shift the people without even categorizing them. We always think closing is about objections and negotiation. No, your objections will fly away if you actually try to categorize people the right way and play the right move. Then mostly you will not be, if you're using heart, if you're applying all the concepts, if you're understanding, if you're communicating your vision, objections will become self-resolved. Even after that, it's only these objections that you will get, which you categorize and deal with the right move. It's like a chess game, guys. Understand, categorize, and play the right move. As simple as that. How many of y'all, this is a wow moment? This is as simple as closing. We think closing is more difficult. No, it's a communication, the money beliefs that we have to work on more. It's the opportunity flow that we need to work on more. Right? Closing and also another part is in the rush of dealing with the target. We set a goal. Some of you all put 75 lakhs per month also, no? In the rush of closing that money, we start to persuade. But closing is not about persuasion. It's about giving the clarity and the direction. Clarity, you first have to have a clarity which type of person they are, so you can deal the right move. Your move is the direction. If you can do both, if you can categorize and give direction, you are dealing with closing better. As simple as that. Let's do a recap. Do I have a permission to do a proper recap with all of you? Type yes, and I'll take you through a proper recap. Yeah. First, we open the room with understanding your sales experience, understanding what is happening in your sales, in whether you are a business owner or a professional or coach. What is happening with your current sales? We saw 5 whys. How many of y'all related with all 5 whys? Type 5, or how many did you relate with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one did you relate with? Type it in the chat box. All 5? 5? We saw conditioning, we saw sales, a sales person mindset, we saw gifted, we saw pitch, we saw the script. How many of you loved range? Here is where I made you do range, right? Here's where I took a promise that you're going to apply range from here on. Yeah. Then we saw what's the science behind it. We tried to understand what is the shift that we need to make in order to change that experience, right? How many of y'all promise me that you will apply all the 5 shifts in your sales meetings here on, right? Type promise in the chat box. be it the range, be having a diagnostic mindset, being the doctor in your industry, not putting doctor in front of your name. If there are doctors in the room, then Dr. Prakash, it's different for you. Okay. But if you're not a doctor, don't put DR in your name. Or if you're not done a PhD. Yeah, promise? Good. And then we saw the heart framework. How many of y'all heart was a wow moment type heart? How many of y'all felt that heart was what you were looking for? Heart was your missing gap in your sales calls. Yeah. And then we saw 4 areas to master selling with heart. We saw money beliefs, how you see money, how you make money, how you spend money. We saw communication, how you use your words, how you speak your vision, how you use your environment, how you build your environment, object, text, people. And then we saw opportunity flow. We saw about becoming known. I gave you 12 different forms of how you can become known. And then we looked at closing. We looked at how to categorize people, our customers, so that we can play the right game, move the chess piece in the right move. Which area do you think you need more work on? Type it in the chat box. Which area was your wow moment? Which one was your realization? Money, communication, opportunity, or closing? Because being known is my concern. Got it? Closing, communication. Yeah. Money, good. Communication and closing, good. Do I have the permission to tell you what's next? Because I know there's so much depth, but I could do only so much in 4 hours. There's so much that I could take you on a journey on when it comes to sales to help you see the different world of sales. This is what is next. My done deal intensive, my 2-day workshop that is happening on the 8th and 9th of August, the coming weekend, and the 5th and 6th of September. I'm giving you 2 dates. It's a Saturday and Sunday. It starts from 10 a.m., ends at 5 p.m. on both days. It's a complete online workshop. You can sit at any part of the world and attend this. I made sure that this is like this so that I can give you a lot of value. Day 1. Day 1, I told you, I want to tell you what all I'm going to do in those 2 days to give you a better understanding. So day 1, we are going to go more deep into money. I made you all do a money goal activity. How many of you all love the money goal activity? Type love in the chat box. I believe money and sales is so connected that if you don't believe you can make 10 lakhs, you're not going to make that 10 lakhs. You need to have a defined structure and a system behind it. You need to build your identity around money. And that is why we're going to do a 4-step money identity reset that day. This basically, I want you to build your and hold your worth. The ability to know that, yes, you are worth of multiple crores. Yes, you are worth of building a company that builds impact a lot. I want you to hold that. And that starts from money. I want you to build that long-term vision. This is day 1, second half. Day 1, first half is money. Day 1, second half is about communication. Now we're going to go more deep. Then I'm going to take you into something that I love called 3 layers of communication. I'm going to take you into something called the eagle view shift method. How can you stop thinking from just a me perspective, and how can you look at it from an eagle perspective? What is in it for your customer to buy your product? What is in it for your customer to buy your service? I'm going to teach you all something called the active listening loop that will make you all wonderful listeners. How many of you all felt I could hold the space for you to be open to me? You felt safe to open things to me. You felt safe to tell that, hey, yes, Ekta, I'm wrong here, I'm correct here, this is what I'm feeling. How many of you all felt that I could hold the space? I do that. I teach you how to do that in the day 1, second half. Day 2, first half is all about opportunity. Divya was saying it's difficult on being known because there's so much more in depth about being known. There's so much in depth to build that I don't believe it's about making a sale today. I want you all to make a sale every single day. So it's being taken care of today's lead and tomorrow's lead. How do you build that opportunity engine? There's something in this called the black book method that is going to be a game changer for all of you all. I'm going to teach you all how to build new relationships and sustain them for multiple years. Now, over the last 6 years, I'm being grateful to hold relationships that are traveling, clients that are traveling with us for more than 5-6 years. I want to teach you all of that as well. Day 2, second half is all about closing, because you're going to go deep dive into your identity as a seller. I'm going to teach you all as a decision matrix, because at any given point of time, when you're selling, a decision is being made, a decision of either telling yes for your product or service or telling no to your product or service. How can you take control of that decision? What is the effortless closing system? We're going to go deep into all that. Basically, I'm going to improve your ability to get deals done. We're going to go deep into it. The reason this is 2 days is because we're going to go deep into every subject, half a day of every subject, guys. That's what we're looking at right now. It's going to be extremely hands-on. You are not on videos today, but on that day, you're going to be on videos. You're going to be well-dressed. We're going to have a lot of activity. You're going to have chance to speak and share your business, share your topic, so that I can help you more deeply. I can do only so much in 4 hours. I want you all to take the journey of 2 days with me so that I can help you, so you are sorted for your next years. Yeah. Before I tell you who should join, I'm going to tell you who shouldn't join. If you are looking for quick sales or hacks or scripts, this is not your place. If you are not currently selling a product or service or offer, then I don't think this would be a right added value for you. If you're not ready to have honest conversations with yourself, look deep and understand, how do I how do I have wonderful conversations with my clients? If you're not ready to do all of that tough work, maybe it's not for you. If you're expecting high pressure sales techniques, this room is not for you, because I believe in the human way of selling and I teach that too. If you're very early in your career and not ready to take responsibility for generating revenue, you're not in that role, then this might not be the right place also. Who must join? If you own a business, no matter the size of the business, micro, small, medium, 1-man business, 2-man business, this whole training, done deal intensive, is for you. If you're a business owner, all the business owners in the room, type B in the chat box, so I know you're a business owner. This is for you. If you own a practice, you're a coach, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an auditor, architect, or any other professional, health professionals also, if I'm not mentioned here, if you own a profession, come in. This is for you as well. All the coaches, doctors, all of that in the room, if you're having a practice, type P in the chat box. This done deal intensive is for you. If you are in a senior level job, where you're in a job where revenue is on your shoulders, the decisions you make impact a lot of employees. I want you in, because done deal intensive is also for you. Any senior level people inside the room, type S in the chat box. The investment is, the regular price is 19,999 plus GST. I also give you all a done deal intensive workbook. Now, today you made notes and paper. That day you're going to have a workbook that you are going to take print out. This is a designed workbook for this workshop. It comes at 7,999. The regular total investment is 27,998 plus GST. I love giving gifts. So there's bonuses also inside. And this time there are 8 bonuses. Money reset guide, price power play guide, clarity question bank, conversation flow system, opportunity engine tracker, the C2C system, the silent close guide, and the decision shift guide. If you notice, the first 2 is all about money. The second 2 is all about communication. The next 2 is all about opportunity. C2C is nothing but content to commerce. How should your content be so that you can hit the sales happens, money hits the bank account? Content to commerce. What's the journey? The silent close guide, the decision shift guide. All of this, there are 8 bonuses. All of this is designed for helping you to grow and take action. These 8 exclusive ebooks is 7,992. The total investment comes to 35,990 plus GST 42,469 inclusive of GST. But not before if you avail the offer in the next 15 minutes. We are at exactly 12:26 now. Before that, I want to reiterate why I do what I do. Why am I doing these workshops? Why am I wanting you to take a journey of 2 days? It's because I know for a fact that if a decision maker, business owner, or a coach doesn't work on their own business for sales and revenue, nothing else can grow, because sales is what feeds everything. Sales is what feeds your tummy, your team's tummy, your investment tummy, your scaling tummy, all of that. And I want to work with you on that. I want to work on that with you when it comes to your sales department specifically. My mission is to make 1 million people sell with heart and become scale worthy. All of you all should be speaking about scale, right? That's my mission. It is not 42,469. It is only 3,999, inclusive of GST. You can now take out your phones and scan the QR code that's on your screen and make the payment. My team will also drop the link to the payment tracker so that you can actually pay from the link also if needed. Once you do, type I am in the chat box so I can welcome you properly. I'll turn the timer now for 15 minutes. This is your question time, guys. Done deal intensive, you can ask me, why is it 2 days? Why do you need 2 days to go deep into sales? Because there's so much to do in a practice way. And this is an intensive workshop. You're going to be on camera. We're going to talk. We're going to discuss a lot of things. And trust me, the person who enters the done deal intensive and the person who exits are two different people. I can vouch for that because I've done this enough times to know that there is a transformation in the room which I want you to take up. I want you to have that journey. For that, we'll have to hop on to the journey of done deal intensive first. Good, Divya. Become known as a part of this intensive. Now, you can be in the offer stage, or you can be in the selling stage, or you can be in a stage where you are selling, but not a lot of people know you. Not a lot of people know your work. Or you can be in a stage where a lot of people know you, they know your work, but closing is a problem. I deal with all of this, right? That is why this is a 2-day proper workshop. I deal with becoming known also inside, right? That's a part of it. That's how I know leads come to you and you don't need to run behind leads. So come in, you can join done deal. It will be worth for you. You can ask, I've attended different trainings before. How is this going to be different? I know before even beginning this sales workshop, I understood the market in a very deep way to understand that beyond the scripts, beyond the CRMs, beyond the tools, there are aspects of the human behavior that needs to be understood. Done Deal Intensive is all about understanding the human behavior and working on yourself. I believe sales is an inside-out game. If you are not working on yourself, you're not going to be able to sell to another person. Another person won't be able to even trust you on it, right? However good your product or service is. So Done Deal Intensive works on that, right? Got it. Got it. In that case, the dates won't make sense for you. Probably look at September. And Divya, one thing I can do is I'll have my team reach out to you. Sita will reach out to you to see if you have any questions. But I would suggest if the coming weekend doesn't make sense for you, you can choose the September one. But this offer is only for now, Divya. I wouldn't be able to give you the offer because this is a special offer inside the room, right? I don't give this. If you look at my social media, this is not the offer. The offer is different, right? This is only because for the people I value the 4 hours that you've given me, and that is why the price is this. So I would suggest you to take the offer now, and we'll talk definitely. Actually, you will be getting a call. Once you're done, You don't need to worry because the team will call you, will understand you more deeper, right? So that's either way going to happen. I'll reiterate who is this workshop for. You can be a business owner, a coach, a consultant, a freelancer, a leader, a business leader, right? A senior leader who's responsible for revenue. Come in. This training, this workshop is for you. Got it, Divya. Timing, I do this because this is full-fledged. I do it on a weekends, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yes, this is very intensive. This is an intense workshop. Yes, you take out a lot of time. One thing I can tell you is I'll make it worth it because I've done this enough times. We have done this enough times to know that it will work. So yeah. If you have anything, you can also personally chat with me. Shakti's chat, and you can personally chat with me. This is both mindset and strategy, guys, because I believe both is important. Having the right mindset when you sit for a sales meeting, having the right mindset to grow your business, to scale your business, and also focusing on strategy, because none of us want to do the same thing that's not working out for 2-3 years and then you realize it's not working out. So I deal with both mindset and strategy because I believe both has its own calmness, both has its own places that acts in a different way. Welcome, Wendy. Wendy, I want you to introduce yourself in the chat box. I want to understand a little bit more about you. So tell me a little bit about you, your business. Why did you choose to come in? Okay, Wendy just joined. Wendy, I want you to tell why you chose to join inside the workshop, Wendy. Drop it in the chat box. I'd love to know so that I can prep myself for you. These 2 days, guys, I also prep myself. So I'll study what kind of people are in, because you and me will feel like we are having a long conversation. We're spending 2 full days together, literally, right? So yeah. The real outcome for Done Deal Intensive is, yes, I'm happy if deals close after Done Deal Intensive. But what I want to happen with y'all is you need to be comfortable with who you are naturally as a person. You need to be comfortable with you selling your own natural way. And in fact, we are 15 people in the room. All 15 people have different styles of selling. How I sell might not be how Divya sells. What I sell might not be how Sita sells. Right? Now, the only best way to sell better and to sell great is when you sell your own way. For that, you need to understand what's your best self and how can you become that best natural self so you can sell who you are. You don't need to perform. You don't need to be an actor or a performer to sell better. I want that to happen with Done Deal. That's my main impact goal. I have a SaaS product and I recently started cold messaging and providing my offer, but wanted guidance in this process. Wonderful, Wendy. Welcome in. We're looking forward to seeing you in the 2 days. I'm looking forward to seeing you how to play the game. This will also need a lot of commitment, guys. So you're coming in, you're committing for 2 full days. You'll have to tell your family 2 days, no disturbance. You will have to make time from your team to tell that, hey, I'm going on a training for 2 full days. You'll have to come, be well dressed, be super active that day. Make sure you're taking care of your health. Yes, if August is not possible, you can shift to September also. But if there's a reason that's unacceptable, then we do that. my team will get in touch with you after you onboard for done deal. But one thing I tell you is everything is prepping yourself for the done deal. In fact, I'm prepping myself. Weekends we have, August is pretty near, right? This weekend. So I'm prepping myself to be at the best health so I can give you all a lot, right? So yeah. If you have any questions, this is the time you ask me. Got it, Pradeep. Pradeep, I understand a lot of real estate dealings happens on Sundays, but see, I'm giving you 2 dates. See if you can make do, because I do know selling in real estate is very, very connected, right? So, see, this needs planning. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Needs planning. So see if you can plan for September. Or I would suggest you come in this weekend, but see if you can plan for September, which is enough time for you to plan your dealings, your meetings, and all of that. But yeah, this does need a bit of planning days. If you want to understand more about how humans make decisions, how I can help another human make decisions, basically getting a done deal, how do I frame my business in such a process that making deals, closing deals becomes a super, super easy, then done deal is for you. Because all of that is thought inside in the 2 days. That is why I said it's a transformation. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be an intense transformation, but you will be committed to it. The person who leaves the 2-day workshop sees the world of sales in a different way. That I can tell you. We have 4 minutes in. If anybody else wants time, let me know. Actually, Pradeep, no, I don't record these 2 days itself. It's like 8 hours of work. I don't record these meetings. In fact, August, September, see if you can make and come in, because the live energy is completely different. If you get a recording, I know it will be lying down in a Google Drive somewhere, right? And we don't even record. In fact, today's session is not recorded. So yeah. I believe in the live energy, Pradeep. You would have felt that energy now. 4 hours, we are pretty much close to 4 hours now. You spent enough time with me to know that live energy is a different ballgame. If you think your offer is not ready yet, I want to perfect my offer and then learn sales. I guess I will be able to do that as well, because offer is an important part in done deal intensive. We go deep into offer creation as well inside, so that we know whatever we sell is worth it and we are selling it the right way, right? You don't need to perfect your offer to come in. You can come in and we'll actually work on perfecting your offer. Guys, does anybody else needs time? The timer is running out, so I would let me know if you need some more time, if they're facing any technicalities with a pay. If Razorpay is giving any difficulties, let me know. You can pay via multiple sources. I think Razorpay allows most of it, credit card, UPI card, all of that. So you can do that. 10 more minutes. Okay, Shilpa, I'll do one thing. I will start the timer once it finishes. So you'll have 10 minutes from there. But make sure you do the payment by that time, so that I can give you the offer. Guys, I promise Q&A time. If you have any Q&As, any questions with regard to even the time, the content that we actually spent, let me know. You can ask me, right? Now is the time you ask me all that. This is your Q&A time that I promised. If you think, will it work for my business? I've experimented this with variety already to know that it works with variety. You can be in a coaching business that works. You can be in the um, uh, practice business. You can be a doctor. You can run a practice and it will work. If you run an agency, it works. If you're only a one-man team, solopreneur or a freelancer, it works, right? If you're a consultant, it works, right? These are all the people, the kinds of audiences that I have dealt with long term. So I know Dundee also is the same audience. Once you're done making the payment, I want you to say I'm in. So I exactly know that you are in. This journey is going to go so deep into sales, scaling, business. Shilpa, I've restarted the timer for you. So this training is going to be so deep into sales, not just sales, but I believe there's a lot of identity work, there's a lot of money work, there's a lot of communication work that we need to get better at. We need to get better at our beliefs, we need to get better at our communication. And then comes becoming known, putting our work out there and closing. So we go deep into each part every single half a day. So 2 days, 4 parts, we go deep. Puni, if you're just starting out in sales, the only thing that you need to focus on is to build relationships, Puni. Right? Meet as many people you meet because I think 90% of the people that you will meet will be strangers. You get to that point to where I'll tell you, large part of my learning came in when I used to take 10 calls in a day. So that rounded up to around anywhere ranging from the least 100 calls to 300 calls per month, be it a phone call, be it a meeting. When you go to that number, you understand people and the brain behind that in such a deep way, right? You would have seen it all by then. So that would be my advice. Start out and meet as much as people you can. Never think about what the outcome would be, whether it will close or no, but I just want you to be the fact that you meet people. What field are you in, Puni? If you think you only do phone calls and done deal intensive will not be applicable, this concept is applicable in any medium of sales that you do. You can just do emails, you can do phone calls, you can do DMs, you can do calls, you can do meetings, in person, virtual. And the concepts are more on the basis of how you can get better from a perspective of dealing with conversations, building an audience which people come to you and ask you for, hey, what do you do? And I would love to understand you better, to a point where closing becomes so effortless and you be happy with not just making money, but you also make profit. The idea of even doing sales is not just to reach revenue, it is to even reach revenue plus profit stage. I believe for that, there's a lot of work that goes into how you communicate your value, how you build your value, first of all, in the offer. How do you communicate that? How do you make people to understand that value and come to you, get attracted to that offer, and from there sell, right? So this is a process. And for this process, for us, wouldn't be more than enough, right? So 2 days is, I would suggest every single person that I've started to work with, that I've chosen to work with, have gone through this rigorous intensive workshop, because I choose people. We've been very, not just from this stage of workshops, but from even the agencies, we choose the people that we want to work with. That is what being one of the name. And if you think you need a long-term approach, you need long-term help, done deal intensive is the way I give the long-term help, because you will see the synergy whether you like my concepts or you resonate or relate with my concepts in 2 days. 4 hours is a sneak peek. And from there, I also see whether you play the game in the 2 days properly. And then when we choose each other, I start to work with people long term, right? And I've been doing this for the last 2 years, on and off when it comes to offline, online. This is an online version. I have an offline version as well. So all of this is how I work with people. I handpick people. Handpicking means from my 2 day workshop, because that time you won't be able to hide. You'll be on video. You will have a lot of activity to do, right? Shilpa, I hope you are in the process of making the payment. Team, can you please check? Once it goes through, please confirm. Every sales meeting, when you dissect the meeting, there is so much that goes underneath in the psychological point of view. We might never realize why a customer spoke such a statement, or we might never realize why we handled the call in such a way until unless you dissect the call. Dissecting happens inside, and there's a lot of psychology, one, there's a lot of strategy, second, there's a lot of strategic point of view to look at what should I be telling them? How do I stack my offer in a wonderful way that they buy? Having a good offer, and then also people will not buy for a reason that it's not attractive or they don't see themselves buying it, right? How do you make your customer see a future with you, envision the journey with you? All of those are concepts in sales that I think I can only deal when we work on a longer run. So done deal intensive, I would highly recommend. There are 10 people in the room. I want you all to take the jump for done deal intensive, because that's how I know I can give you all that transformation to see a different side of sales. If you have any questions with regard to done deal or with regard to selling with heart, let me know, because we are running out of time. You can use me while I'm here, and I'm happy to help you over here. I was working in insurance. Right now, I'm taking time to find out which field to go into. Thank you so much for the wonderful workshop. Loved how it wasn't about sales tactics, but about beliefs, conditioning, and mindset. I'm feeling much more confident and will definitely implement the concepts in my calls from now on. Wonderful, Connie. Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot. And write back to me once you've implemented the concepts. I'm looking forward. I'll hold you on your word, right? I hold on people's promises, right? I hold them to it. So write back to me. You can write to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, email. However, I think we've exchanged a couple of emails as well. So write back to me once you've applied concepts. Yeah. If you think you need to understand people more, you need to become good in communication, you need to become good in building that waiting list for you of clients. Dundee is your way because we go so in depth on these topics. Everything for me, English was very easy to talk. I've been speaking in English for a very long time, but when it came to business, what kind of words do I need to speak to make sure that I'm making my point and I don't make a fool of myself? All of those were pointers where things that I'm already good at, I need to relearn, unlearn some things and completely shift my perspective at certain points to know that I can get better. And that's how I learned the sales journey. And all those concepts, in fact, selling with heart, done deal intensive, everything is drafted from the experience that I have got, that my mentors have given me, and all of that. My journey is something that I would love to give you all because I never had that person who could handhold. I want to be that person to handhold you and take you through that journey, regardless of which stage of sales you actually build from. So yeah, that's done deal for you. Shilpa, I hope you're in the process of the payment. Done, Shilpa. Team, can you confirm as well? Welcome in, Shilpa. Looking forward to seeing you play. So, guys, I don't take the time that you've taken so lightly when it comes to this journey. It's been a wonderful time with all of you all. In fact, I was this workshop was a early one that I thought. I put a pause on selling with heart, and when it comes to selling with heart, making sure that you guys are here, spending that time with me when it comes to these workshops means a lot to me. And it'll be a while since I restart selling with heart. Done deal is my next programs in, and something that I don't take lightly. The time that you've spent me till 1 p.m. 4 hours of somebody's time is not a light thing to take. I value that. Thank you all. And we are stopping in with 1.5 minutes. If you have anything to say, any learnings that you've got, any questions for me, drop it here so that I can be of help. Or I can even read if you have any thought process. What is the learning that you got from selling with heart? You can type it in. You can spend the last 1 minute with that. I'm happy that you guys chose to be in this one. Wonderful. So yes, we're closing in on the time. Lovely, lovely to have all of you all today. And it was a well spent 4 hours. I value all of you all and love you all. And I hope you get the time to take action. I want you all to take action and write back to me on how the learning has helped here. Wonderful. Yes. See you soon. For the ones who've joined, done deal. I'll see you all in on the weekend. And cheers. Love you all.